opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots are now in England after flying out late yesterday as they get ready for a game in London against Jacksonville this coming Sunday. Item number one for DeMarcus Covington's defense is to stop the run.
For us, like them being able to, the backs being able to get downhill, work outside. All right, we got to do a good job of being stout inside, because they're hard on the double teams in there.
Ramondre Stevenson and starting left tackle Vidarian Lowe both missed their second straight practice yesterday. Marcus Jones was back on the field after being absent on Wednesday. As for Drake May, he was once again listed as a full participant with a knee problem, but the team confirmed yesterday they are not worried about it. Another NFL news, Denver ran by New Orleans last night 33-10. Tennessee has waived safety Jamal Adams. The Celtics open up their regular season Tuesday night against the Knicks. Yesterday, the team waived Jay Scrubb, Ron Harper Jr., and former Springfield High School star big man Hassan Ward. The Boston College football team is now 4-3. They got blown out at Virginia Tech last night 42-21. And at the baseball playoffs, the Dodgers now lead the National League Championship Series 3-1. They beat the Mets last night, 10-2. Earlier, Cleveland got a 2-out, 2-run homer from John Kenzie Noel in the bottom of the 10th, and a 2-run shot from David Fry in the 10th for a 7-5 win over the Yankees. Noel's homer came in the 9th. The Guardians now trail the ALCS 2-1. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by New England Recovery Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance use, the New England Recovery Center in Westboro can help. Recovery is possible. Inpatient program admission is available 24/7. Visit newenglandrecoverycenter.org or call 877-MY-REHAB. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston plays here.
Pressure, half court, it's in the air. Go! He got it! He did it again!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Fred, hello. Hello. Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Oopity up with a football.
98.5 The Hub!
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers, yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
Hey there.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Yeah, you are. Everyone loves you, Isaac. You know we
Say
think
my
you-
name.
Isaac, I already said that. We love you.
Hey there.
Isaac, I hope you're doing well in Hofstra. Can you send me a sign?
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Ah, there it is. And now I know you're doing okay. Isaac is staying in his grandmother's house as he matriculates at Hofstra.
It's a good boy. Good boy, that Isaac.
Have you heard from him at all since he left us?
I mean, we video chat 4 days a week.
Just, hey, because now that he has this at the radio station, it would kind of be to his benefit to keep in touch.
That's a very cynical way of looking at my relationship with Isaac, as if it's a give and take situation. It's Isaac and me, we're just two bros drifting through life, man. It's a come see, come saw. No one owes anyone anything. Everything that Isaac and I talk about and experience is, it's just both out of love. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. We're in the Town Fair Tire Studios. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and subscribe. I subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Huh.
And that's, there's 24,000. I'd imagine that a big-time radio station, you want at least 100,000. But this comes with time. Does anyone else plug it? Well, I suppose the midday and the afternoons don't plug it because they're not on YouTube. So it's just the Joe man and us. By the way, Nicholas made a. Where is Nicholas? Is Nicholas gone today?
No, he's right here.
He's here.
Did you want him on the mic?
No. But he did a great video of us with Joe. Is that everyone was like, Joe's the best show on the station. And to that I say, that's fantastic. It makes me happy. So we're going to ride this. And today we have a Joe bit that it's not just audio from his show. It's something that Joe did for us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. But Nick incorporated Seinfeld episodes, just photos of Joe popping onto the screen. He's becoming quite a little Scorsese over there with these videos. They're becoming of the highest quality.
He was crowing about the impressions on it earlier this morning. He said the video's doing big numbers, the Joe Murray video.
Well, what do big numbers mean?
That's the impression that he gets.
Hey.
What did you knock on wood last night or something?
I've never had to. Knock on wood.
Yeah, you screwed me up with that take, which is the truth.
Which
Yeah,
pisses
share it again. It ruined it for everybody.
Okay.
You got me with it too.
Except for like one or two people who say like, yeah, I always knew that. I'm like, BS, you did not know that. All right, Wallach. I've never shared this with Wallach, so he's brand new to this. You familiar with the Muddy Muddy Boss Tones song, the impression that I get?
I am.
Okay. Could you just tell me what the chorus says, where he starts to say never had to?
No, I cannot tell you that. I'm not that familiar with it. I know the song.
It was only the number one song across multiple formats.
I know.
For an
Because
entire year.
never had to knock on wood, but I know someone who has, which makes me wonder if I could. It makes me wonder if I never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet because I'm sure it isn't good.
Right.
So, all right, so that's how it sounds.
So, for years, we all walked around thinking that Dickie Barrett was saying that he never had to knock on wood, which, okay, fine, you just sing along. It doesn't really make any sense. It dawned on me 25 years after that song came out in 1998 that he's not saying that he never had to knock on wood. It's all the other stuff that he talks about in the song. Have you ever had the odds stacked up so high you need a strength most don't possess? Has it ever come down to do or die? You've had to rise above the rest? No? Well, I've never had to. Knock on wood. The right way. Right? And I feel that very, very few people had, outside of the songwriters, ever understood the true meaning of the song. And when I said this on one of my programs a couple of years ago, and it was whoever runs the Muddy Muddy Boss Tones Instagram account, like videoed me or the dashboard of the car as I was saying it and gave it the thumbs up, yes, you get it. So what do you think of that, Wallach?
I think your take has been set in stone. I think now you can walk through life with the confidence knowing that your way is the right way. That's what I think.
John is interesting because he's just spent the last 20 years getting knee deep into the curly shuffle, which there's a biopic coming up.
Of the Jump in the Saddle Band, is that right?
The Jump in the Saddle Band.
How about that?
Yeah, there's one about Dylan, the acoustic years coming out.
Yeah.
And there's, in counter programming, there is someone who is doing one on the Jump in the Saddle Band. You know what is probably a lot of fun to go to, which is on TV right now, is the Head of the Charles.
Have you ever been to this thing? Ever? You ever thought about it? No, the answer is no.
So,
the answer is no.
Yeah,
I know, Adam. I'm just saying once.
No, I don't think Adam's went. That's
No.
that's not Adam's.
That's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on. You see boats go by, but you have no idea what the race are. It's an excuse to drink. My school always has a tent. Believe it or not, from upstate New York, they have a tent. So, we'll be here, we'll be there. It could be in a parking lot of a football game. It could be, there's no reason to go unless you have someone participating. It's not, you can't tell what's going on. If you stand at one place along the Charles, you're like, oh, okay, this is great. Some boats went by. There's no way of knowing what event this is or how much, what the schools are there. You don't know what college kids are on what boat. You have no idea. I never understood it.
Did your school actually have one of them rowboats, or did you just have the tent?
I think they had both, but it doesn't matter. You can still have the tent. It's just an excuse to drink.
The first couple of years I worked at BCN, I had to work a Saturday shift. So I was on middays, but then I had to, do like a Saturday, like 9 to noon shift, right? So I was going in on a Saturday. It was the Saturday of the Head of the Charles. And on the log were call-ins, so-and-so is going to be broadcasting live from the Head of the Charles. And, so I call him up at like 8:45. I'm like, hey, you got the first call. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you got calls? He goes, oh, no, I called the 5 to 9 a.m. guy. I recorded all those already. I went back home and he went in, did his calls, went home and went back to bed because I'm not hanging out at the stupid Head of the Charles. That thing stinks.
Yeah, I did that almost everything I did. But I had so when I went to Rollins my freshman year, I was on the same floor. It was a co-ed floor, and you immediately, like your freshman year, I don't know your experiences, but if you were in dorms, I only knew one other kid, so like you become like friends with, and then you don't stay friends with any of the people on your floor. But I was for like the first semester, and one of the kids joined crew at Rollins, which was I've never heard of it before. Since I take it they did it on the lake there, but I never saw any kind of rowing. I don't know anything about it, and all I know is that for no reason he had to get up at like 4:45 in the morning and go torture himself. I can't think of why in the United States that you would have any interest whatsoever in doing that when you could just go to the gym and get jacked. Why would you want to ride around in a dumb rowboat unless your dad, like your inbred family, makes you do it because, like your father who...
My father rowed crew.
Yeah, my father rowed crew for Brown. Like, or unless they're paying you, the school's paying you to do it, which I'm not even sure they do.
Do they have scholarships for crew?
Well, first of all, Ivy League schools don't give out athletic scholarships, so I don't know. But I mean, they can get around it, but they don't give out like real athletic scholarships.
Sure.
So, I'm guessing no, because except for Ivy League schools, who has crew? In small schools, I mean, did Michigan State have a crew team?
Probably. We had the sweatshirts that we sold there at Spirit, etc. and said crew.
Yeah, but maybe that was just there was Motley Crue.
I think they rode on the Red Cedar River, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well,
so that was when 12 mentioned that, I remembered early days of the Sports Hub, and for several years, I had to work every Saturday and Sunday, Hardy and Troop, and it was probably, God, it may have been the first one because we were the first Saturday show, and there were a couple of months into the show. Showed up for work on a Saturday, and there's all this traffic on Soldiers Field Road and all this stuff. And this was the day, just a couple of months into it, that I'm sure Troop figured out he had made a horrific mistake by agreeing to do this show with me, because he's trying to talk about, early the hot stove baseball or something. It's like baseball's wrapping up, and he's trying to get all his World Series takes in and all this stuff. And I just mentioned the traffic off the top of my head. He's like, Hardy, did you row crew there at Michigan State? And I said, no. And looking at the weather outside and that cold water, I think I'd rather go slam my pecker in the car door than go sit in a rowboat when it's 40 degrees and drizzling. And he looked at me like I had just said like every one of the Carlin's 7 dirty words on the air. How dare you?
I'm like, what? Look at my Twitter and look at what I'm following.
I just said pecker.
Pop shot.
I'm like, no, I've never rode crew, Troop. Stop it.
What you say offends me now. Wait a second, you can see who I'm following?
I did.
Castiglione never said any of this stuff.
That was the look on his face.
Castiglione never said any of this stuff, and I'm going to pretend to be offended by it because you can't see who I'm following on Twitter, which is graphic pornography. You know that?
You got a little Doris Burke in there.
That's what I thought.
The human voice can only do so many things.
just a hint of it.
If you went through Daryl Hammond's arsenal, you would hear similarities between different impressions. Come on. That's not fair.
I get regular emails about Doris Burke. I do.
Yeah, let's blow that out.
You
Wait
notice,
until basketball season.
you notice I haven't brought it up.
You can like run a marathon or something. Like, if you're doing crew, like what good is that going to do you?
Even at my school, we had it, and the people who did it, it's like a religion to them for some reason.
Well, yeah, but they're insufferable douches.
They talk about it. You talk about those baseball writers all from New York waxing nostalgic about baseball in the 20s, 30s, and 40s of the last century. That's what these people sound like when they talk about crew. Oh, it's you get a high from going down there, and it's first thing in the morning, and that would seem to be more productive.
Well, but like you could just go work out and get like way bigger. I guess if you were going to be an Olympian, maybe I understand why women would want to do it because there's less of the possibilities for Olympic sports and things of that nature and professional sports.
So normally, don't they have? And I know women row and men row, but in the men's boats, don't they have like a very slight woman up there at the front,
screaming at them? Yes,
sitting backwards, the coxswain.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I'm looking at the names right now. There's the bow pair, there's the engine room, seats 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the stern pair. They're the rowers. On the stern, I guess. But yeah, there's a couple of different ways to get into this sport, Fred. You don't even necessarily have to row. You could just be yelling through the little megaphone.
Well, if you're a jockey and it's the off season, you can just go sit in the front of the boat and go whoosh. Everyone whoosh. Come on, you fools. Same time. Whoosh. With more power. Whoosh.
Paddle in the water, dummy. You're not even rowing.
And then I'm just to turn their back to the rowers. I'm not even doing this. It's a waste of my time.
So poor at your job.
Oh, I can't even watch this. Ben, you would think that would have gotten antiquated pretty quick. Like there's no real reason to be rowing a boat anymore. Ben, go ahead.
Freddie, baby.
Hello, Benjamin.
YouTube loves you. Twitch Nation loves you. I'm sorry to pop this up a little off topic here. Some programming notes for the YouTube because we have poems to write and things to get in order. The spookiest member, will that be happening in a few weeks?
Yeah. Let's do spookiest member. I can tell you that we'll do it. Yep. Why not?
Okay, and also Hardy's headlines that he rewrites and does to the Monster Mash, because that gets me more excited than the Mike Reese tucking it.
What the hell?
Tucking it?
What is that about?
I don't know. It sounds funny. I don't get it. But I know what tucking it is. I don't know why Mike Reese. But
is that like a goodbye horses situation?
Yeah. Where were you guys going with this? I thought it was a football term. Isn't that like a?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, you're being cute. No, it's from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, I get the reference, but when he said, I immediately thought of Mike Reese football tuck rule.
No, I don't think that's what Ben would say.
I
think it was a tucking a joke, meaning genitalia. Go ahead.
We should workshop this a little bit because I don't even know if T-Bone or anyone from the Midday Show is going to ask me if I'm going to do the Monster Mash headlines this year, which I've done every year. And quite frankly, is one of the main reasons I agreed to do this job is so that I wouldn't have to do the Monster Mash headlines anymore. It only, it's 90 seconds once a year, but I dreaded it. Like, oh my God, I got to write this thing. I got to somehow change it up every year. But I get when I took the job, and at least once every week or two since then, someone's like, "Are you still going to do the Monster Mash headlines?" Instead of just, even if they were to ask, I'd like to have some idea for them to do it. And my initial one was like, no, just make McCone do it now. Now that's McCone's job to do the Monster Mash.
No, I have a better idea. Nicholas.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's what you do. You want a video, Nick? Yourself doing the Monster Mash headlines.
Oh, my God. Because as silly as it sounds.
No, you got to be on beat. You got to be like it's got to be syllabically.
Oh yeah, and
like on point. Like
the
it's
cadence
not,
has to be right.
Yeah,
The
cadence,
meter.
Yeah, the meter. Right. All those things are better than what I said. But
so
yes,
I would. Should I write it for him?
No. He's got a week. Oh, he's got 13 days. It's a week from next Thursday. The Monster Mash.
Nick, would you be willing to stick around? We used to do it at the same time. It was the 11:30 headline.
Oh no, he'll do it on our show, and they can replay it on their show.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fair. If Nick is going to do it, at least he should get credit on this show for it.
Yeah.
And they can replay it at 11:30.
We want that spike in the ratings when it happens for the first time live.
I don't doubt that it would happen if we didn't get a spike in the ratings.
Appointment listening.
This is why we brainstorm and workshop things. That's how it happens.
No, do not write it for him. That's no good. Be Real says no Monster Mash headlines have Wall agreed the Raven. People were wondering if you were very excited about the bird game coming up. This what is it? Ravens Falcons or something going on. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Boston EVC is the only company in Massachusetts solely dedicated to the installation and service of electric vehicle charging stations for mass homeowners and businesses. To learn more or to schedule an installation, visit bostonevc.com or call 1-833-4BOS-EVC today.
At Bernardi Toyota, you can upgrade your ride and help support neighbors in need during our Trade Up Give Back event. For every new vehicle purchased, Bernardi will make a donation to United Way of Tri-County, a nonprofit organization helping to advance health, education, financial stability, and other critical building blocks of life for Metro West residents. So, upgrade your ride and support a great cause. Get started at BernardiToyota.com.
Bernardi for life.
If you're thinking about a new kitchen, deck, windows, doors, or any home project, visit CCL Homescapes in Abington. Nothing beats the product selection and experts on hand to help you at every turn. Open during the week and on Saturdays, CCL Homescapes right in Abington.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through November 12th, get fast, reliable 300 megabit Xfinity internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and unlimited data included. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $90 a month. Actual speeds vary.
Ben, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not. Because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 617-793-5000 or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Fall deals are taking center stage, and our offers have never been more fantastic at Ira Mazda. Choose your savings on a new 2025 Mazda CX.
This is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. And, that kid from One Direction died falling off a balcony in Buenos Aires, and they just had a thing on the news that, by the way, this is like a lot of news, like mainstream news coverage of it and stuff, which they were bigger than I thought. But they said he died of the trauma from the fall, and you might go, oh, no kidding. But that's not always the case. My parents had a friend, I told you, that drowned in the lake. And but she didn't die of drowning in the lake, if you understand. She had a heart attack that killed her, and then she drowned.
Oh.
So sometimes the obvious is not always there. So, like, for instance, if he had a medical episode and died, and then the limpness of his body fell off that. And you think that three stories, is that for sure going to die?
Well, that is what made me immediately think not an intentional suicide. Because if you're going to kill yourself, I wouldn't do it from 3 stories up.
I also wouldn't jump.
No, I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do.
Avoid that.
No.
I tried to have this conversation once before on the air. It did not go well.
Nah, I can't. No.
No, it did not. But no, I certainly wouldn't jump from 3 stories high.
No. And then somebody had the gall to say, when we were talking about this story yesterday, to somehow twist your words around, Fred, and say that the young man's name, the dearly departed Liam Payne, is that who it was?
I don't know. Yeah,
the One Direction guy. You said he was from, or no, that's you. The person who emailed in said that you said Argentina was in Europe.
I got back to that person very quickly.
Well, and I was getting ready to back you up. No, what you said quite astutely and uncharacteristically correctly said that as a European, which Liam Payne
You're what?
is. Mm-hmm. We were talking about, what are you doing in Argentina for so long? And Fred said, no, them Europeans, they vacation differently than we do. If they're going overseas somewhere, they stay there for like a month. They do it right. You go away on holiday. You don't do it for a week. You don't even do it for 2 necessarily. You go for a month.
Yeah, and if you've ever been into Europe and you end up talking to people, they'll go on and on and on about these places you've never heard of where they vacation. You said, can you be more like me? Enough with these like islands off the coast of Africa. I don't go there. You stay to the Eastern Caribbean. That's where you stay. Where I go.
One of my neighbors is always telling us, it's like, oh yeah, you should, but before Katie graduates, you should do. You talked about going to Australia and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, and they lived in London for a long time, but they lived in Singapore also. And I said, well, can you do like, I'd like to go to Australia and New Zealand as long as you're like over there. Could you do both? Say like, I don't know, I'm trying to wrap my head around, could I take like 2 weeks off? They're like, oh no, you need 2 or 3 weeks for Australia, and then you need 2 or 3 weeks for New Zealand on a separate trip. I said, well, neither one of those things is going to happen. Can we just stop talking about it?
Must be great not working for 6 weeks. That's great. Good
but
for
that's what they do. You take off for a month.
Good for them.
Well, if you want to, then I can bring it up again. If you're a big fan of TT Boy TV, where the porn stars interview the porn stars, he has Mike Stefano on, who has moved to Southeast Asia to some small. He said he wanted to find a really small and impoverished part of Southeast Asia because he likes the prostitutes there.
Yeah.
And they're having a conversation like this is totally normal. Like, not an old man, probably in his 50s.
Yeah, you moved to Fiji because you like the weather. You moved to the south of France because you like the wine. He moved there because he likes the prostitutes.
He's like, I think there's something about like, and he goes, like 18, 19, 20-year-old women. And you're like, Yeah, that's what it is. And like I'm not crazy, And then he says that about he's like, they keep you young, and then TT Boy goes like, back in other times, people believe you got energy from that. Again, the Peter North TT Boy interview.
Yeah.
If you don't know the video, you'll know it because the beginning of it is an animation of TT Boy striking gold with a sickle because he's so wealthy. And then it goes into a very long form interview.
A sickle.
Like a
I understand, but it's not the first thing. Is it a sickle or a pickaxe?
Pickaxe, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Pickaxe.
All right.
That's my own ignorance. Sorry, TT Boy. But again, I encourage anyone, you don't even have to know the first thing about pornography. Watch and you won't be able to watch the whole thing because I wasn't even to. Watch first 30, 40 minutes of the TT Boy Peter North extravaganza.
30 or 40 minutes.
So did you like me? I love sugar walls. You like in Canada? They have sugar walls. I used to go to this beach, and the girls be in bikinis, and I'd, watching them. Oh yeah, were they hot, pretty girls? I mean, it's two morons. Because especially when he does the women you can tell are like, woo. Like, you're real dumb. Like, I can't deal with it.
See, I get distracted when I'm watching people like that because then I start thinking about how did you get out of the house this morning? How did you get to this place? Because they don't have handlers.
They
don't
directions
have
off
personal assistants doing everything.
But
for
and
them.
it's funny because he'll have it pops up in my algorithm and I find them interesting. They're way too long and I don't watch them all. But I have to say this, and I say this with every amount of sincerity. They'll go like, this guy's been in the most pornos of all time, and I'll have no idea who he is. I have to say that maybe 90% of his guests I've never heard of before. But then he'll have like a Peter North on,
and then you're like, well,
and then you're like, all right, here we go. Yeah. Or he'll have like a Christy Canyon on, who held up nicely, and seems actually intelligent and nice.
Nice. Christy Canyon's got to be what, 70?
I would date Christy Canyon, despite her past.
Got to be 60 or 70 by now.
I'm not being sarcastic. I think she's probably your age.
Okay.
What are you, 55?
56.
I bet you she's about 55, 56.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't start old,
No.
Like, when you're seeing them, they're not old. Like, especially that Tracy Lords. A lot of people getting arrested over that whole situation. All right, go ahead.
All right. So that's what happened last night.
Yeah, Mike Stefano moved to who I've never heard of or seen in a porno.
I knew you weren't done.
He moved to a Southeast Asian country for the prostitutes.
There you go. Things were looking pretty good for the Yankees last night. They're up 2-0 in the ALCS. They had tied the game with a Aaron Judge 2-run blast, followed by
swung on and hit in the air to center field and deep. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Stanton and Judge have hit home runs, a back-to-back and a belly-to-belly. And the Yankees take the lead. Giancarlo non si può stopparlo. He homers, and he and Judge hit him back-to-back.
That's a lot of fun.
You really need to see the video of John Sterling calling.
Oh, he's
you need to see.
He is fabulous.
And when he's speaking the Italian, he's got his hand out in front of him like this, and he's
mugging.
He still holds the hand to his ear when he calls games.
And he's wearing a coat that maybe did fit him 30 years ago when he bought it, but now it's draped over him like a cloak.
It's a triple XL London fog for a large body.
Yeah.
And I actually think this is cool, and she's really popular, but based on her voice and her background, it's fascinating to me that Susan Waldman got that job. Like, I really haven't done the deep dive into how she got it. She was a singer, like, with no background in baseball. She has it's charming now, but she had what would be called a terrible announcing voice. She has to my knowledge, no background in the sport.
She was she segued from being a reporter for the Yankees. She was in the locker room every day, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
That's where she started.
Okay.
And then she kind of moved to that.
She was she had to have been fairly at advanced age when she was a reporter, right? Or because I thought she was a professional singer and like
she
theater
was.
person.
When she was really young, that's what she did.
But not like a kid, like when she was a young adult.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to. Maybe you're right. But they took her from the locker room and made her it.
Yeah. In the 90s, if I remember.
No,
right.
I know, and that's when still doing play-by-play on the radio was like a huge deal. Like, so I mean, I think it's a great story, I really do. But it's a fascinating one. Go ahead.
Sterling's been doing this for 35 years.
Yeah.
Too long.
All right, so Yankees, again, they're up 2-0 in the ALCS. They're up 2 runs. It's bottom 9, 2 outs. The home team, the Guardians, they're down to their last out. Let's bring in a pinch hitter just to see if we can get something. We're down 5-3, the last gasp. Because if you go down 3-0, unless you're the Red Sox, the series is over. Big Christmas because his last name is Noel. You get it, John Kensey Noel? So he's Big Christmas.
Yeah, 6'3", 250.
Yes.
Big Christmas.
And Wallach and I were talking about it this morning. As a pinch hitter, what is he like? Over his last 16 or something crazy?
For the season, 1 for 16 as a pinch hitter. This is what the Cleveland Guardians are rolling out there trying to compete with the Yankees with. And he hit a 2-run homer to tie the game.
Well, yeah, he didn't start the game. The best player on the Indians or on the Guardians is the one that got shelled in the 8th.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
They brought him in for they tried to get the 4-out save.
Clase, the closer.
Yeah. He's the best. You would agree he's the best player on the Guardians, would you not?
Jose Ramirez is probably the best player in the Guardians. Clase is very, very good, but Jose Ramirez won 40-40 this year.
All right.
39 homers, 41 steals.
Was Clase was he a
All-Star?
All-Star?
Yes.
What was his ERA this season? Can you look? Was it under 1? It was
was.
.61.
It was.
He's better than 40-40 guy.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, John.
Okay.
All right. Let's not do this.
right.
Let's not do this.
A whip of .66?
Let's not.
What's your whip?
Let's not do it on the air. Okay. All right. Anyway, so they go to extras. No ghost runner in the postseason. Yankees don't get it done in the top of the 10th, but here come the Guardians again.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to left. There she goes. How about that? A walk-off, 2-run home run to the bleachers and left by David Fry. And the magical 2024 season is not done by any means.
No, not at all. And they will play Game 4 today, right? Getting right back at it as Cleveland shows life. Still down 2-1 in the series, but an epic comeback last night, courtesy of Big Christmas and David Fry.
David Fry, once again, a 28-year-old second-year player who they promoted from the minors during the season.
Yeah, who
a
did not start the game.
28-year-old AAA player. These are the players that are trying to beat the Yankees in the American League Championship Series.
Yeah, he didn't start the game. He was 0. He didn't start the game. He came in the 7th.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, Hardy, what will we talk about? Do you even know?
Yeah, I do. The other baseball game that was being played last night, and there was a football game last night, a little Thursday night Amazon football, and that was a great contest. Can't wait to talk about that for the rest of the long.
I don't like how you can't get on the thing. I don't like how you can't turn it on the thing. Mad Dog don't like those.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
From Andre Steve.
Tub.
Trying to keep up.
Don't have to do it every time.
Your wings have been clipped, old man. Go cower in the corner. You're wounded. Yes, yes. Move your arms in that fashion. Yes. Oh boy, I did not like that video. I never really got REM, to be honest with you. I never really understood the appeal.
Same.
Yeah.
What?
I was never a big REM guy. I like songs.
They write great songs.
Yeah, I like some of them.
What do you mean? No, that was some kind of a backhanded stab at them by saying, you like some songs.
Yeah, I like some songs. I'm just saying I like some songs by the band. I don't know that I would sit through an entire REM album.
All right.
But the hits are pretty bad.
Well, I mean, the one you guys are referencing, "Losing My Religion," is certainly, but there's some early stuff
Everybody
that's-
Hurts is bad.
I don't want to hear that.
Shiny Happy People is
I don't
bad.
want to hear that.
Those are three.
I like
of
the
the
one
hits.
with KRS-One though.
Oh no! Oh
yeah.
no!
That's
KRS-One
on the radio.
That is terrible.
That is a terrible song. And
No,
KRS-One's also in a Too Much Joy song, which is terrible. And the worst of all of them is Chuck D on the Sonic Youth song. Word up.
On Cool Thing.
Yeah.
Tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is. Word up.
Yeah, it's bad. Fred, your Sonic Youth take is one of my all-time favorite music takes ever, and it's that no one actually owns a Sonic Youth album.
And if you like Sonic Youth, look at the way they treated Nardwuar not once but twice.
Right.
Like, they're dicks. Like, I don't even understand why the New York, people thought that, they were embraced by everyone. They were just considered this, super cool thing. But I contend no one liked them.
You can tell in Azarod's book, you read it, This Band Could Be Your Life. Yeah, you can tell when you read his chapter on them that even he is he's not obviously out and out, slagging them, but you can tell that people were not into Sonic Youth being so into themselves.
They had every chance to even go gold. And they couldn't. And it's not like they didn't want to. They did everything in their power to become popular. They made mainstream videos. They brought in mainstream artists. They toured with mainstream artists. They did everything they could to break. And they couldn't. They major labels, everything, and they couldn't do it.
Well, what I thought you were saying about REM is how I feel about Sonic Youth. I like songs. Not from Sonic Youth. I like songs. Really doesn't matter who sings them. Right. Give me a 3-4 minute song, and it could be anything from Dolly Parton to Slipknot, which makes sneaky good 3-minute pop rock songs. They sound heavy and scary and they got the mass, but there's actually good songs. Sonic Youth, I never heard a song that I was like, oh, that's a good song. You got a lot of feedback in there. Ball in the header. Oh, are you so weird?
Word up.
No, it's just, where's the song? Is it a good song? No, it's not a good song. I haven't heard a good Sonic Youth song.
And you never will.
There you go. All right.
Not that it matters, but they were on a major label for a decade, and their the most album sales they had was 320.
I legitimately chalked this up years and years ago to me just not being cool or hip or smart enough to understand why they're so good. And I'm like, okay.
Well, now that you know I don't like them, that's not the factor.
Yeah.
Now that Captain Cool has made his case.
Finally, I can sleep easy. All right, the other baseball game going on last night between the Dodgers and Mets. Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani swings, and it's a missile to right field. Marte will turn and watch this one fly. Shohei Ohtani, a leadoff home run, a laser beam to right field, and it's 1-0 Dodgers right off the hop in Game 4.
Right off the hop. So they decided after
Word
that,
up.
maybe it's not a great idea to pitch to Ohtani anymore. Okay, we'll just walk him. Who hits after Ohtani? I forget.
Oh yeah. Mookie Betts.
Oh, that's right.
Now Maton's 2-2. Betts swings, hits a high fly ball left field, going back Nimmo on the track at the wall. It is out of here. Mookie Betts watched that one fly from the batter's box, admiring a 2-run blast.
So there you go.
4 for 6, 4 RBIs. Out of the slump, I think.
10-2 the final in New York. There's the Dodgers get the win in Game 4. They will play Game 5 tonight, so we get 2 games tonight.
Fred, you see who had cleaned up for the Dodgers last night?
No.
Tommy Edman. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to them in a trade from the Cardinals.
Was that the response you were looking for, Wallace?
No, it wasn't.
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't even know that game was on last night.
Tommy Edman, ex-Cardinal. I thought that I'd get a little more from.
I like Tommy Edman. He was hurt when they got him. The Cardinals made a trade for pitching, and it was a 3-team deal. And Edman was. I don't think they got anyone from the Dodgers, but Edman went to the Dodgers. I always liked Tommy Edman. Plays 8 positions.
Did you know that the Broncos and Saints were playing last night?
I did. I flipped it on and I went, yeah. Here we go. Bo Nix has thigh pads with a cross on them, which is shows that he likes Jesus more than you.
That's true.
Somewhere Jesus is like approved.
He needs a Big Milliken's cousin chain to go with it.
Yeah, well, Milliken's cousin got that as his confirmation. So he's got to wear it.
My apologies. So you knew they were on. I knew they were on. I don't know if the Saints knew they were playing last night.
Blitz on the way. Rattler's in trouble. Pulled down as he throws, and this ball knocked up into the air and deflected and picked off by Cody Barton. Barton looking backwards into the end zone. That is a Denver touchdown.
And that made it 33-3 in the fourth quarter.
and that painted quite a picture. I understand exactly what happened by the play-by-play. Ball in air and ball. Hi. Caught. Hi. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Isaac.
Look at him. Oh, I wish you could see what I'm seeing.
It's cool here. Let's just say that. I like being here. All right. Well, there you go. There was baseball and football and what have you.
33-10 the final last night.
Oh, they scored a touchdown.
They did. Sean Payton happy to get a win against the Saints.
New Orleans, remember they scored 40 points in their first 2 games, and they were 2-0?
Yeah.
What's their record now, Hardy?
Well, Spencer Rattler's their quarterback.
Are they good?
No, they're 2-5 now.
The Saints are good.
Yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
No, this one did.
Oh, I said it too, so I can't argue it. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I said, no, I did not.
You did an entire show saying how the Saints were going to win the Super Bowl. I remember it.
Oh, you're being sarcastic because I was telling you how being 2-0 didn't mean anything because you two yahoos were running around clanging cymbals together.
I think you're misrepresenting the entire argument. Now, I don't know if any of us have been proven right or wrong, but early on in the season, Wallach and I both said, are any of these teams good?
I believe that was the question I asked you.
You didn't say, are any of the undefeated teams good? You said, are any teams in the NFL good?
Good,
yes,
right.
That's what I said after week 3.
And I said, and you said, well, Baltimore is no good. They're 0-2. And I said, well, that's nonsense. Would you rather play New Orleans or Baltimore? And you guys acquiesced New Orleans. And when I took you through the mental exercise, you realized how idiotic you were. It took me holding your hand through it.
After we stopped clanging cymbals together.
It's better than that tambourine you usually ring over there, Springsteen's wife.
I love a good tambourine in a song. Oh, it could be in anything from Jim Blossom's Foo Fighters. You give me just a little tambourine and don't overdo it.
And you know when it's the lady playing it, it's not just because the guy in the group lets him in her. If you let me have sex with you, I'll let you bang this tambourine all show.
I don't think that is a fair assessment of all tambourine players.
It's a singer with something to do with his hands, if it's not that.
Robin Wilson, Jim Blossoms. Good example.
I found out about you. I found out about you.
You really get the nice tambourine work on Mrs. Rita.
Mrs. Rita, what are you, a marg or something? All right, we will be back. It's amazing. He's not here yet.
Oh, come on.
But Bert Breer will be in just a moment.
Other NFL news, Denver kicked off Week 7 of the season with a 33-10 win in New Orleans. The Celtics have waived Jay Scrubb, Ron Harper Jr., and the newly signed Hassan Ward as they get ready for the regular season opener Tuesday night against the Knicks at TD Garden. The Boston College football team is now 4-3. They got blown out at Virginia Tech last night, 42-21. In college basketball news, a shocker in Virginia. Men's head basketball coach Tony Bennett will retire this morning. The LA Dodgers beat the Mets 10-2. They lead the National League Championship Series 3-1 and 1 out away from a 3-0 lead in the ALCS. The Yankees blew a 5-3 ninth-inning lead in Cleveland and lost to the Guardians 7-5 in 10 innings. Sports Hub headlines are driven by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Get respected Albrecht with 7 locations and thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles. Get the right vehicle at the right price now at albrechtauto.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Now, more Tuncher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
A crappy tap-a-doo would be in a crappy band and sucking. Ooh, we're bad, we stink. Are you a dancer at the shows? Because this got a Springsteen dancey feel.
I just do the groundhog dig.
Yeah, you did.
Coming round.
Which one of these fellas died?
Doug Hopkins, the guitarist.
Oh. So they can still play.
Yeah. That Doug was probably gone before most people knew who they were.
Ooh. Who wrote Mrs. Jones?
Well, that's Counting Crows. I know what you're doing.
Give it to him. Just give it to him.
No.
That's what he wants.
I didn't want that. It was too good a line.
Oh, all right.
I said Mrs. instead of Mr. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. I actually don't mind the gin blossoms. I'm kidding. It is an opportunity to watch us. The lights are on YouTube. You can search 98.5 The Sports Hub. And something must be going on that's very important because Bert Breer is knee-deep in Schefter-esque texting.
No, I'm just trying to order breakfast.
Oh.
And the app isn't working.
Lie to us.
You were so hungry in the morning. You were ravenous.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Bert Breer's the senior NFL reporter and lead content
The app
strategist.
isn't working. I'm not even kidding.
No, I'm not paying attention to you. No, I'm not working. I'm
No,
ordering
it was
food.
offline yesterday. Like the whole thing was offline yesterday.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to go down in order then. And then
Yeah, and good luck getting him to the register. Getting down to business with Bert Breer is presented by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn. Bert also maybe did the post game for the game last night on Amazon.
Yeah.
None of us would ever
How'd
know.
you stay awake?
Well, I know. Like, it's not
That
like
game.
anyone watched the end of that game.
Did you shave
That was
before work last night, or did you get up and shower and shave this morning? Because
morning.
you were clean shaven.
Look at
Yeah.
you.
Oh, that's
Can you
TV
imagine?
shave.
He gave me like a weird look there. Like, yeah.
Because you're really put together from the neck up this morning.
Wow,
and,
thank you.
I mean, it looks like you did like grooming.
Do you
which
wear
is-
makeup on TV?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you put it on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe he still has his makeup on.
No, you said,
yeah.
I could
No,
tell that
no, I
he
went for a
showered
run
it,
this
and
morning.
there's a fresh
Yeah.
shave, and
No.
that's impressive for somebody who's, lives, way out on the elbow of the Cape and has to drive up here.
But he said
I
something.
just like to have my day started when I come up here, Hardy. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
He
Like,
said
I like
something
so
interesting.
when I leave here, I can kind of get on with my business.
He said something interesting. You know how he's just got in here in time and he's always late? He went for a run before the show today. Maybe not the run, leaving and getting here on time.
You get a better version of me if I go running in the morning.
I
promise
can't. I
that.
can only imagine what you'd be like if you didn't.
Yeah, it would not be
if you
good.
didn't have your card in, your cardio. All right, let's start with this very controversial. And it's well above my head. I don't know why everyone hates Volan so much. I don't. He's never bothered me. He's not a tall gentleman, but I see him out and about in Newton. And he's never bothered me, but everyone gets all pissed off at him. And it's really, I'm ignorant to why. I honestly don't know why.
Best media nickname given out by Scott Zolak was given to Ben Volen.
Did he make Trollin' Volen?
No, Mittens.
Oh, Mittens. That's right. Mittens, that's pretty funny. All right. There's something about covering the Patriots where they do not allow you over a certain size. But I will tell you this, is that Bert...
I always get... I think I've told you guys this, but I always get that, like, oh, you're way taller than I thought.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I get that nonstop.
Okay, because I'll tell you why.
Because everybody who's a reporter is 5'4".
Schefter is the reason. You know how they had those commercials and they were great?
Schefter, Ian, Glazer is short. Like, they're all short.
But who is the guy with everyone said had a ponytail, the dorky-looking guy?
John Clayton.
John Clayton. They had those great... I love John Clayton. But they had those great commercials where he's the Slayer and Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I did my...
Meatloaf, yeah.
Those are great. But, so you think, Clayton's this dork, da-da-da-da-da. They even made parody commercials about him. And Schefter's this, like, put together, like, slick back Gordon Gekko type. And when we were at the first Super Bowl I ever did media for, which was the Indianapolis one, I saw John Clayton, and I jokingly took a picture. He doesn't have a ponytail because I'm so clever. And then I saw Schefter, and Clayton towered over Schefter. Mm-hmm. I mean, Schefter is alarmingly short. Like, which would never, I'd never even mention it. Like, Mike Reese doesn't.
He's alarmed.
Alarmingly short.
Oh, come on. Because Reese is like a nice fella, like, like da-da-da, so who cares? But Schefter comes off as like the... And they have to do trick photography because when he's standing with, like, the other people, they, line him up in a way.
When I used to do TV with Ian, they would put down, like, 4 sandbags for him. The sandbags they use to, like, weigh down stuff, like camera equipment and everything else. They would stack sandbags up so he could stand up next to me and it wouldn't look ridiculous.
I'm sure he's gonna love that.
And by the way, I am not that tall.
No, you're like 6 feet tall.
I'm like 6'1". Yeah.
Okay. So they used to put the guy you hate, Dale Arnold, up on the stoop. And I'll tell you this. Jaffe is no giant. And they had to put him on a stool to get as high as Jaffe.
Dale used to stand on a box behind the nested desk,
which is not even a big deal. Story. But every time I said it in front of Jaffe would like cringe.
Yes,
like
I know.
Like what?
Are you talking poorly about the Pope? You can't do that.
No, but he's not talking poorly. All you're saying is that he's short. He's short.
I will say, like in Ian's defense, like Ian would make fun of himself for it and didn't want the sandbags, and they made him.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, like,
because that's
he was like, this is ridiculous.
I agree.
They're like, no.
Good for him.
Yeah,
because like short isn't objective. It's not like objective. Like you're short or you're tall. Like it's
right
there. And believe me, there's short guys. Tom Cruise and everyone else running around getting all the people they want to be with.
Well, that's in Hollywood. People are alarmingly short too, right?
Well, look at
Schwarzenegger's not very tall.
Give you an example. Schwarzenegger is tall.
I thought Schwarzenegger
no, he is. For a bodybuilder,
okay,
he's tall. No, but this is a good example. The other guys, it's Will Ferrell and Marky Mark. And Will Ferrell's supposed to be the dork, and Marky Mark's supposed to be the alpha. But when they stand next to each other, Will Ferrell's a foot taller than Marky Mark. Like, and so you're like, this doesn't work. Like Kevin Hart next to The Rock works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they make Marky Mark look like a linebacker when he's really more like a high school wrestler.
Exactly. Yeah, Marky Mark probably, I mean, he's jacked, but he's probably 5'4", $120, like, because he's so lean. So, like, I'd say he's 5'4", $120. Again, and then why out of all the guys in Hollywood is he the star? Lord only knows what he had to do.
I wonder, like, how much they use, like, optical tricks with the camera.
A lot.
You know
a lot.
I mean?
A ton. Like, and they do it on TV, too, because you can see sometimes Schefter's not standing on anything. He might have lifts in his shoes.
No, but I'm saying, like, in the movie.
No, I know. Yeah. But what I'm saying is a ton. And my point is this, is that if you can do, like, the perception on TV, like, what do you call that, Hardy? You would know, like, when you're taking a photograph and you can make something look bigger, it's perspective.
But you use a lot of like foreground tricks.
Yeah. But there's a term for it. Maybe perspective. I can't. Mm-hmm. But if they can use that on live television, in movies, I mean, they have to. I mean, so many of these guys are tiny. Tom Cruise never looks tiny in a movie.
Mel
Well, he
Gibson
was in the
doesn't short.
Yeah,
I think he's pretty short.
Tom Cruise played in All the Right Moves, was the high school football star, right? Like, so he can't. There are a lot of movies he's been in, Mission Impossible, where they can't make him look short. They have to make him look bigger than he is.
Or how about the Dirty Dancing fella in Youngblood?
Patrick Swayze.
I mean, and Rob Lowe's not a short man, but Swayze was the big tough guy.
The thing with Tom Cruise, though, is he knew he wasn't going to be an NFL safety, but he was pretty sure he could get the job done in college. He just got blackballed by Coach Nickerson.
Yeah.
But he came around at the end, and not only did he bring him out, because Nickerson got the DC job at that school. He said,
Right.
Steph, why don't you come play ball for me at one of the best engineering schools in the country? Because he drew that undersea dome right before he betted his girlfriend for the first time.
Well, you know what Nickerson ended up doing? Coaching pro at the Orlando franchise.
That's right.
Yeah, when they expanded, Nickerson got that. But first, he coached in Minnesota, to the laughs of many. He had a real buffoon as an assistant. All right,
Steph
Bert.
Georgievich, he a hell of a player.
Don't call him that.
That's
Just because he's from
stupid.
Georgia doesn't mean that he's...
Stupid PI call against Walnut Heights, though, and Nickerson blamed
Play the
him
ball,
for that.
not the man,
Yes,
Steph.
well,
Jesus.
That movie does not stand up. You end up rooting for no one. All right, all right, Bert. Let's get into it before any more silliness. Is Drake May injured?
I think he's fine. These sorts of things can happen. He got knocked around some on Sunday. They go into a practice on Wednesday. There obviously must have been some sort of soreness or whatever. They check everything. It's an easy thing to do. Again, it does show up in the injury report, so it's notable. But look, you're not pushing a guy out there in this circumstance who's that important to the franchise in a Wednesday practice or a Thursday practice if there's something structurally wrong with his knee. So do they have to check it out? Sure. And obviously, it's a precaution that you take in a situation like this, but I don't see where they would be pushing him out into practice. They would be traveling to London if this was anything serious. So I don't think it's anything to worry about.
Yeah, and we were talking about it yesterday. It wasn't even necessarily something that happened in the game. It could have been at practice. Something happens, and then I think it was Callahan who was talking about it. He's like, you get dinged up in practice. You don't make a full go of it in practice, and then technically you were limited because of something that happened in the middle of practice. So,
and they have that's the other thing is they have to be very careful about how they handle all of that because there's surveillance on all of that from the league, and we've seen teams get in trouble for that. So, and especially now with the heightened awareness of it because of all the gambling crap and everything else, it's really, really important that they report everything that goes on out there.
All right, real quick.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just briefly. So it would be Jacoby Brissett going back in should something happen at this point. I mean, it's just going to be
which is
those
weird
two.
because you pull him out, and this wasn't let's get a look at the kid. In part, it was Jacoby's not good enough, so now you'd have to go back to him.
You're not talking about derailing a season or anything. That's not the
Season's
that's not the fear, right?
The season
it's
was
just,
never on the rails.
It's just going to add to an already kind of strange dynamic,
Especially when Joey Milton comes in and starts taking over. Josh, go ahead.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize I would get on this quick. Hold on. Let me battle this semi real quick. Get the fuck out of my... Oh, sorry.
It's like a maximum overdrive situation.
Sounds like me about a half hour
That's
ago.
not good.
It's like Transformers. Was it you when you were racing against for your personal record there, Jogger? Or was it when you were driving in here late? Oof. All right. We'll be right back. Bert Breer is here. We will continue talking to him.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy.
A poodle, it's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
What are you guys looking forward to on this trip to London? A win. A win. All right.
I have big news.
Yeah?
I just figured out what I want done with my body after I die.
What's that?
Cremated. I want the ashes compressed into as many golf balls as it takes. And 21 would be great. And then have a 21 gun salute. I want 21 of my best golfing buddies to all line up on one big tee box. And I want them all to like take a swing and just smash my ashes all across, the tee box and fairway.
Which golf course?
It might have to be at a Muni, because I don't know if this is going to be sanctioned necessarily. You might have to like sneak out there on a.
That's really dark.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be fun.
Well, do you have a will?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. It's no more darker than having a will.
Right.
I mean, it really isn't. I mean, someone's going to have to do something with your body. It could happen on the way home from here.
Right.
So, I mean,
it's also dark.
The hole's going to have to be
I got news for you, Bert. You're dying.
I know.
We went down this road before. We can't start discussing this.
Can we finish with the golf balls, please? Because this is important. I just
hope it's not on the way home.
Okay.
So do I.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a downwind hole, and there can't be any moisture in the air. We're going to have to find a dry day with a nice, 10-mile-an-hour at least tailwind, because you don't want the ashes blowing back onto you and, sticking to your, your...
So don't put the 21 guys, inconvenience them at all. Really wait for a good weather day so the 21 people can all congregate at the same place.
Okay.
At the same time.
I don't ask for much. Can we just all agree?
That's not much.
Can we all agree on a day, and if it doesn't work, you might have to reschedule?
I'm not a golfing buddy. I mean, if you want me involved, I can certainly help orchestrate.
I think you should be up there because I've seen you take driver out and Daddy Longlegs, huh? Freddie got the long ball.
Hey, how about that?
You're too sweet to me. Now it's done. I'm hitting your ashes all over the place.
Nice.
As if I'm gonna outlive you. All right.
We just discussed that.
All
Recently.
right.
That's not happening.
That's what you were talking about. I'm like, wasn't involved in any of these discussions.
No, is that when you were?
When I was out, you took the time to make fun of me dying soon.
With the sniffles.
Well, what are you gonna do? All right, so Bert is here, MMQB. Sunday Night Football. A lot of interesting storylines. Russell Wilson, he's starting for the Steelers.
Tomlin hasn't told either of the quarterbacks yet, but the distribution of reps in practice makes it look like, yes, that Russell Wilson is going to start.
Basically said as much yesterday.
I don't really recall ever seeing a situation quite like this where it almost feels like the team openly wants the other guy to start. I mean, have you guys listened to some of the stuff from their offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith?
No.
So hold on a second. Let me pull it up. I'm going to pull up the quote.
While you do, the stat is that Justin Fields has never won a game where his opponent scored more than 20 points.
Okay, so here is
not
here's
have
the
to worry
quote.
about that Sunday.
So he was asked about Justin Fields. Arthur Smith was asked about Justin Fields. This is last week.
Yes.
When Russell Wilson was practicing fully for the first time. Here's what he said about Justin Fields. There's no drama to him. He doesn't try to live through his avatar or create a perception.
Ooh.
That's probably why he was so endearing to his teammates in Chicago. Extremely coachable, extremely bright.
Oh, boy.
Well, I don't know what he's referencing there. I mean,
oh, boy.
Okay.
No one has shot themselves in the foot more without breaking the law.
And then this week,
Mr. Unlimited.
Okay, and then this week he was asked about Russell Wilson and Russell Wilson's readiness to play. I got to pull this up, but he was asked about what have you seen so far from Russell? And he said I don't have it. I got the video of it up, but it was something along the lines of Justin's done a great job, and I feel badly for Justin that this is happening this way. So,
all right. So Arthur Smith, you think once Justin Fields
I think a lot of people there want Justin Fields to be the quarterback.
Yeah. What is it with Russell Wilson? He wasn't particularly good with Denver last year. They're not paying him.
It's everything you think it is, Fred.
Really?
It's just like we've been through that. Like I think you guys remember like that first game, like when I told you what the Seattle people thought, and how remember like that first game in Denver, Seattle beats them, and I think I showed you guys what some of the old Seattle people were saying. Right? It's just people. Everything that you make fun of him for, like, that is exactly the problem. And he just, I don't think he's a horrible person, but he doesn't relate well with teammates. Like, he's not that good a player. He doesn't take accountability for his actions. Like, there's so many things there that, and it seemed at the time to a lot of people, like the defensive players, the Seattle defensive players, and we can go down you guys know the list, like guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame. And a lot of people thought like, oh, they're being really unfair to Russell Wilson and everything else at the time. And really the reality of it was like, it was Russell Wilson was trying to make the thing about himself and trying to, and did the opposite of the quarterback thing so many times, which the quarterback thing is, when we win, it's we. If we lose, it's me, right? And so I just think that this, like all of this exists, and I think in Pittsburgh, they see a guy who is like the exact opposite of that in Justin Fields, and who has really laid his body on the line over the first month of the season. He really fits their culture, their play style. Is he perfect as a passer? No, but they feel like there's going to be more limitations on the offense with Russell Wilson in there than there are with Justin Fields, and they like Justin Fields personally better.
It's funny, too, because against the Jets, the mobility of Fields, because Wilson's not super mobile, the mobility of Fields would seem to be a big matchup problem for the Jets based on how they couldn't contain Allen.
Well, and the Steelers have offensive line issues, so like to be able to escape from the pass rush, yeah.
Yeah, it does seem odd that they're doing that.
And this is like a must-win for the Jets too. I mean, jeez,
Yeah, and they're -2, and I was sure they were going to win Monday night, but this is a worse team they're playing. But just on the other side of that game, and then John, you can ask what you want, is the Davante Adams situation. I have two questions about this. How does Davante Adams fit? What's your feeling on all that? It's big news.
Yeah, so it's no secret that Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams engineered this, and they've been talking for a while about it. Now it's not tampering because players can talk to players. This isn't a team going in and tampering with somebody else's player, but they've been talking about this for a while, and I think it's the interesting thing to me was like what I was able to uncover over the last couple of days was the actual timeline of it. And the Jets didn't put an offer on the table until after Robert Saleh was fired last week. So they didn't have a hard offer on the table for Davante Adams until after all the stuff that happened last week. And so it just feels like these things keep happening with the Jets that are so reactionary to whatever just happened in the last 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and like I think with each one of them, you're putting more pressure on your players. It's like, okay, well, we got to pull this lever to fix the season. Fire Robert Saleh, lose to Buffalo. Okay, we're going to pull this lever now and go and trade for Davante Adams. And now if they lose to the Steelers on Sunday, where does that leave them? I think that's the problem with the way they're operating. Now, are there reasons for going and getting Davante? Yes. The chemistry with Garrett Wilson isn't where it needs to be, clearly. And I know Aaron has privately had some issues with that. He publicly went to town on Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is gone.
That was crazy.
Mike Williams isn't even practicing.
Yeah, so he went to town publicly on Mike Williams. So you've sort of put yourself in the spot where you've got this quarterback that you've invested so much in, and you're all in with him, and he doesn't trust the people around him enough, and he's a lot like a lot of other quarterbacks. I mean, in his defense, this is the way Brady was too, which is like, no, dude, if I say 8 yards, I don't mean 7 or 9. I mean 8. And if you're not at 8, then I'm not throwing you the ball. Right. That's what it is with a lot of the older quarterbacks. And so I think the difference it makes is that you're the logic to it is you're bringing in a guy who, like Aaron, can trust on that level. Now, as far as the psyche of the team goes, if I'm a 24-year-old, 25-year-old guy in that locker room, and I've seen this, doesn't this seem a little panicky the way the last 2 weeks have been handled?
Well, it seems. I'll tell you more than that. It seems
And if
that
it doesn't work, if you don't get the validation of a win, what does that do?
Well, by the way, if you're 2-5, you're done anyway. But
And just real quickly, I
No,
don't know if
the,
it's
good,
somewhat-
the good news for them is they do have a nice get right game the next week.
Patriots, so they can be 3-5.
Yeah, the Patriots.
I don't know if it's so much panicky as it's a lot of acquiescing and it's a lot of enabling. I think of Aaron Rodgers.
That's exactly what I was going to say. As someone who follows the team, it just gets more and more and more like they're giving the reins to Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers hasn't been good. And I do get what you're saying because people that are, slamming them for getting the Adams is that, well, A, what do you care? It's a third round pick, and then B, so they pay the contract. I don't understand what that means to you. And also, Alan Lazard's a bad receiver. But Alan Lazard's the only receiver on that team that Aaron Rodgers trusts. And he's putting himself in situations to succeed. So if you got Devontae Adams, who's a much more talented receiver, and is on that weird...
Well, it's like Deion Branch. When they brought Deion Branch back here, Deion Branch, by the Seahawks estimation, was like basically done.
Right.
And then the next year, like he had helped Brady win an MVP.
Yeah.
I do think that there's something to that.
Oh, no, there definitely is. And by the way...
I mean, look at what Juju did when he was back with Mahomes.
Exactly. Like, there's just this connection. And that's more on Rodgers, I think, than Garrett Wilson. All right. Let's take a break. And then when we come back, we can continue to talk about what is going on in the NFL. As last night, there was a terrible game, but Bert is on.
You weren't entertained?
No. But, I can't say I lasted very long. But Bert is on the Amazon broadcast now. He's a big shot. But he still comes in here as close to the bell as he can as the Patriots take on the Jaguars, 9:30 a.m. And everyone's getting up for that game, I would assume. Everyone. Our man Hardy's doing pre and post game.
He's in Foxborough at 8.
What time?
Right?
Oh, is it kick off the pregame at 8?
We're doing an 8:15 pregame. It's not bad. Yeah. Hour long.
8:15 pregame. They do it from Gillette for no reason.
Yeah, let's probably
where you want us to do it from?
Your bedroom, like Bert does it from his basement.
Well, I don't have my own makeup.
Well, that's a convenient ride for you though. That's probably like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
when there's no traffic and there won't be any traffic on Sunday.
17.
Okay.
Clocked it. 17 minutes.
Nice.
Door to door.
That's like how long it takes me to get here in the morning. You know how long it took me to get to Dorchester? 3 days. All right, so we'll be back with more Bert Breer. Here are the headlines.
that in perspective. He's still young. He does have that youthfulness to him. But again, from a pro approach, he's doing it the right way of getting himself ready each week.
Is this Muse or something?
It is. I got a request for it, seeing as the Patriots are playing in London.
Is this the Knights of Sidonia?
Knights of Sidonia.
I know this because of Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. So, those dudes, they play like stadiums now.
Sure do.
Just three dorks just playing stadiums. All right. Bert Britter from the MMQB is here. Johnny, you had something you wanted to ask.
Yeah, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers and the way he treated Mike Williams. I mean, I have a hard time believing that there are a lot of people in that locker room that actually like Aaron Rodgers, or there are a lot of people in the organization that like Aaron Rodgers at this point. What have you heard?
Yeah, I think what's interesting about him, and this goes back to Green Bay. Now on the team employee side, right? Executives, coaches, equipment people, weight room staff, all the way down. I think one thing that's really interesting about Aaron Rodgers, and I think this actually speaks well of him, is when he throws punches, he punches up. And if you look in Green Bay, his issues weren't with like the equipment staff. Like there weren't stories about him like there were about Brett Favre, where he has the separate locker room and there's
Favre's.
Right, like
even Russell Wilson when he was in Denver.
Right,
Yeah.
right. What it was that like he would get indignant with his bosses and he would have an issue with, and so like I do think like to some degree that's one thing that's misunderstood about him when you're talking about the non-player side, right?
Even though he treated Mike Williams
No,
poorly.
but we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Okay.
But the non-player side, he doesn't punch down. He punches up. On the player side, I think you're either in or you're out, okay? So if you're in his circle, he is loyal. He is great. Like, and I think the people who are in his circle love him.
How many
So
people
if you,
are those?
so if you agree with him and you suffer through his nonsense
Maybe,
and
maybe,
his pseudo intellect, then he likes you.
Well,
hiding
I
in a
mean,
dark
but
room's a great
I would
idea.
I would say, like it is evidenced by the amount of people that followed him, though, right? Like, so Randall Cobb follows him. Alan Lazard follows him. Robert Tunyon wanted to follow him. Like, David Bakhtiari is very loyal to him. There's just, I think if you look at it, like the guys who are in his circle, he will do anything for. If you're outside the circle, that's different, So it's just it's sort of interesting that way too. The way the guy operates.
I get what you're saying. It's just an awfully low bar. It's like, oh, he doesn't pick on low-level employees, so he's
Well,
pretty.
Mike Williams also isn't exactly a practice squad receiver.
No, but
Mike Williams is like a guy who's on his third contract and is an accomplished NFL player, and so I don't.
When you say
I don't really view
when you
that- I don't
say
really
he
view
doesn't
that as-
punch down,
that's not punching down though. Mike Williams is
no, but that's what you said. It's like he doesn't punch down. He doesn't have a problem with the equipment guys, or he doesn't need a separate locker room. It's like, well, there's only a handful of guys who have that moniker, and if everyone universally agrees, those are bad dudes. Like no one wants to be around those guys. So that's not a very high bar to set, to start things off with. And for receivers to leave a bad situation, to go to a place where that guy can throw the ball and he likes throwing the ball to me, I don't give him a ton of credit for being a great teammate just for guys like that agreeing to join him.
And now what I would say, where I agree with you, Hardy, is that a quarterback should not go up and give that level of detail on what someone else did wrong. That's
I
not
can't
his-
remember. When was the last time a quarterback
trust
did
me,
that?
And trust me, you guys know me. Like I believe this for all of us. We're not in the business of telling people to shut up. We want people to keep talking, But like in a situation like this, I was floored by the amount of detail like he went into and what Mike Williams did wrong. And I can say this too. Like the Raiders asked for Mike Williams in the trade, and the Jets said no. So, like, I don't think they're just giving him away. There's some weird stuff, like just I think going on with a lot of different things there right
That's
now.
very odd.
Like what?
considering the
That's
report we got.
Yeah, like what? What's weird about what's going on there?
It's just, I mean, I think it flows from the top down. And I think when Bill went on the Manning cast and said what he said, I think Bill knows stuff. Because I know some things too. And I think so much of the issue there is systemic and goes all the way up to the owner. And it plays that thing that Parcells would tell all of his young assistants 20, 30 years ago when they were pursuing head coaching jobs, and Bill Belichick took this and put it in his back pocket, and it's been sitting in there since, which is there's one thing you can't change. It's the owner. You can change whatever you want when you go to a new organization. You cannot change the owner. And Woody has just he's screwed up so many things there. And I just think that organization is so sideways and runs so haphazardly. Did you guys see the story I told about Jeff Ulbrich on the Thursday night show last week?
No.
Okay, so Woody wasn't happy with what Saleh wasn't Woody's hire. Okay, Christopher Johnson hired Saleh while Woody was still over in the UK serving as ambassador. So Woody inherited him, and there was a feeling in that building that Woody and Saleh were never really on the same page. So first couple of years, things don't look awesome, and Woody is looking for his pound of flesh to serve up to the fans. And Jeff Ulbrich had been one of the guys that had been kind of what is this guy? Why do we still have this guy around? Whatever. What flipped Woody's opinion was just the fact that when the Niners lost DeMeco Ryans to Houston, when DeMeco got the head coaching job in Houston, Kyle called the Jets and tried to get Ulbrich out of there to replace him. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. Maybe I was wrong. And then all of a sudden Ulbrich became the guy that Woody looked at as like, well, that must be the next guy. And so for your opinion on one of your employees to flip like that, when you've had him in your building and you've been able to be around him on a day-to-day basis, I think kind of speaks to like the haphazard way all of this has gone. Like firing Saleh, and look, Robert's record is what Robert's record is, right? But the question in the locker room was a fair one. What the hell is this going to accomplish? The strength of our team is our defense. You're taking the architect of the defense out of the equation. We've got a good defensive coordinator. Now that defensive coordinator is going to be the head coach, so you're stretching him thin. And this doesn't address the offense. So what are you fixing? Because the locker room doesn't care about like what they're saying on sports radio. They don't care about your 3-year plan, your 5-year plan. They care about winning right now. And the guys in that locker room looked at it and said, how is this going to help me right now?
Right.
And, I mean, if you look at where the team was, it wasn't like he lost the locker room. Like, what did that fix? And as it turns out, on Monday night, it didn't seem to fix anything.
Right.
So now you pull, and that's what I mean when I say you keep pulling these levers. Eventually, it's going to be like, well, what are we left with? And
so is he like a David Tepper? Like, is he like that bad an owner?
I think the worst owners, I'll say, and there are more of these than you think. The worst owners are the ones who drive to the stadium and listen to sports radio the whole way.
Arthur
no
Blank.
offense to anyone at this no offense to anyone at this station, and take the questions they hear on sports radio and bring them to their coach or bring them to their GM. And that exists, again, way more than you think. And, they I think a lot of these owners view it as serving their public. I mean, it's amazing how I've used this line with you guys before. A friend of mine passed it along to me. I think it's perfect. How many of these places are run like billion-dollar lemonade stands? I mean, it really is like some of the decision-making with it. And this is what Jimmy Johnson meant when he told Bill Belichick 30 years ago, really you're just competing against 7 or 8 teams. That's it. I mean, how many teams do you look at and say, yes, that team could win a Super Bowl this year?
Well, I thought the Jets could be in it.
We're still trying to figure out what teams are
and
good.
And the Jets are loaded with talent.
Yeah.
All right. The Jets roster, I mean, I would argue the Jets roster is the best in the AFC East, I think by like a relatively wide margin right now. But Buffalo is so much better put together and so much more organizationally aligned. Buffalo is Buffalo's way ahead of everybody in the division right now as far as that stuff goes. That's why they're going to win the division. Because if you look at the guys that Buffalo offloaded, right? Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Stephon Diggs, Mitch Morris. They lost all those guys in a single offseason. Matt Milano goes down in the first game. And they're, 2 games up on everybody now?
Game and a half. Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought up Buffalo because I asked you this a couple of weeks ago. It was week 2 of the season. I'm like, already I don't see a whole lot of good games here. And you kind of brought me around on it. You said, what about this matchup? What about this matchup? Buffalo's a good example. They've got Tennessee. I'm not all that interested in that. Where's the sneaky good game on the slate this weekend? I mean, Lions and Vikings, I think that's an obvious one. You got 2 good
Lions
teams.
Vikings is great.
That's a great matchup. But where's the other game on here? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing
Green Bay. Maybe?
Houston Green Bay is a really good one.
That's okay.
Houston Green Bay is a really good one.
Is KC San Francisco going to be
that's
worth
obvious
watching?
though. That's
because of the
Super Bowl
rematch.
I think you know what.
Great.
What I like here,
Neither team looks great.
I like both the Monday night games. Like I think Tampa. I think Tampa's really good.
Oh yeah.
And so Baltimore at Tampa is interesting because that can be a validating win for the Bucs.
Yep.
And then that late game, like I think both those teams have been really competitive early in the year. Like I know the Cardinals' record doesn't reflect it, but I mean going back to last year, I think the Cardinals have been really, really competitive, and the Chargers, to me, you're seeing all the marks of a Harbaugh team. And that by the way, that's what I mean. Like you look at the Chargers and how they look put together now, how much better they look.
Mm-hmm.
They're another example of it. But those 2 Monday night games would be in that category.
All right, I like that. Sneaky, interesting to watch Jets in this follow-up.
How about
week
Patriots Jags? You want to throw that on there on the marquee?
It'll be over early.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're very happy it's a 9:30 a.m. because it doesn't blow the day apart.
I mean, when you're talking about like the benefits of watching the Patriots week in and week out. All right, it's the second week of Drake May. There's some interest there. It's on early. It's over early, but the Jaguars.
By the way,
I don't know how you get interested
Jaguars
in watch that half of the
I mean, I
game.
think 6-point favorite now.
Well,
more money coming in on Jacksonville.
Well, there's only one game John's interested in.
According to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway Sports Group has shifted its focus from possibly perching the Celtics.
Why, it's Seahawks Falcons.
He said perching the Celtics. He said
perching. So
instead of purchasing.
I was seeing if I could find the bird game before you said it. So
according to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway Sports Group has shifted its focus from possibly perching the Celtics.
Jags are interesting in that.
No, you're missing the point here.
I know.
You're completely missing the point. According to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway Sports Group has shifted its focus from possibly perching the Celtics. Yeah, no, dude, it's a lost cause.
Let him go. I was gonna say like I think the Jaguars are interesting from a train wreck perspective.
Oh, sure.
Because it could go one of 2 ways. It could either go right into the ditch or it could go back on the highway.
Well, if Jacksonville was in a regular city, people would be much more concerned about it.
People would care.
Yeah. And
just when you thought they're going to move the team to London, Shad Khan says, nope, we're going to renovate the stadium.
Yeah,
we're going to stay
city,
there.
They're in a city that no one ever goes to. Like a city that legit no one ever goes to.
Do you know
not
what
for
the NFL
business,
thought?
not for anything.
Do you know what the NFL thought when they put a team there?
They'd be capturing North Florida or something?
They thought that Jacksonville was going to be Atlanta. Like it was going to grow that way.
Oh.
And they were wrong.
Everyone from around the United States would move there?
Now, in their defense, they did get it right with 2 other cities in the South, with Nashville and Charlotte. I think those were probably 2 pretty smart places to go.
But they weren't doing this in a vacuum. They had like city planners and like sociological experts telling them that Jacksonville was going to be the new
Jacksonville
big
was
city
gonna
in the South.
grow.
Well,
Yeah,
I got news
didn't
for you.
happen.
In 1996, Atlanta had the Super Bowl. Or not the Super Bowl. In 1996, Atlanta had the Olympics.
Right. Well,
So-
no, Atlanta had already become that, but they were saying
Yeah.
it was like these cities were going to
It's going to
grow
be like
like Atlanta
Charlotte.
did.
It's going to be like
Well,
Nashville.
Charlotte had its moment.
Nashville has Nashville. It's like there's like every time I go there, there's five new skyscrapers.
Yeah, there's a danger to that. Ask Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte has the bank. The thing I'd be concerned about with these cities are what industries are there. So with Charlotte, it's banking, and then that's it, though. Like, companies aren't going to move there anymore.
Nashville's entertainment?
I don't know what it is in
What is
Nashville.
it?
Nashville's still not that big a city.
I think what it is like Nashville has become this city where like kids who go to SEC schools move there after college now. And so
instead of Atlanta?
Right. I think it's like
all right, then
it's
you're
like
robbing
Chicago
Peter to
for
pay Paul.
it's like Chicago for kids who go to Big Ten schools. Like,
right.
I think you got a lot of kids who are 23, 24, 25 years old. And the thing that sucks, I know your parents are down there, right? Or a few hours away.
Knoxville.
Yeah. So if you ever been, the traffic has gotten so bad in Nashville because they don't have the infrastructure to deal with any of it.
Well, that was what happened in Atlanta. And well, if that's what's happening, that was what Atlanta was. Atlanta was the New York of the South.
Looking at
Chicago
this quick graph here, this pie chart for Nashville Industries, the biggest employer would be education and health services.
Yeah, so there you go. All right.
Not sustainable, you're saying?
It's not an industry. Like, it's not like Detroit's never going away. It has GM and Ford. Like, that's enough. Like, it's not going away. And then all the businesses that surround it, ad agencies, glass, people that manufacture glass, like all that stuff has to be there.
Yeah, but one of my best friends from college moved to Nashville in like 2009. I think he bought a house for $400,000 or $500,000, which is worth like $3 or $4 million now.
Yeah, it's grown really big. Yeah. I just wonder about the sustainability of it. People aren't moving to Charlotte, to my knowledge, anymore. That was supposed to be a big thing, and now it's not.
I had a buddy move down there a couple of years ago.
And did he like it?
Well, he plays golf all the time. So
he doesn't work for a bank?
What the hell does that have to do with anything? You can play golf all the time anywhere.
You can't play golf year-round up here.
Unless you can't play golf year-round in Charlotte.
Why would you move to Charlotte? You'd go further south, wouldn't you?
Charlotte gets winter.
Charlotte does get cold.
Yeah.
Does it get a lot of snow?
Not a lot, but some. I mean, it snows in Knoxville. And Charlotte's in the... It's got to be close to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah, Charlotte closes down at 5 o'clock.
Western part of North Carolina.
Yeah. I don't know what your friend's lying to you. He's selling you... What he's selling you is he's selling you snake oil.
A lot of guff.
He's a snake oil salesman.
I'm going to move to Charlotte.
I wish you would.
Oh!
And yeah.
That's wrong.
Buy one of them guns down there and take it into the garage.
I'm going to be down North Carolina 2 weeks from today, and I cannot wait to see the political ads because they'll be running. It'll be the weekend before the election.
Yes, it will be.
And they are like my mom and sister live in Durham, which is a pretty
Liberal,
open-minded.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter. They run the commercials for it's like I'm running for sheriff, and the guy's got a gun on his hip, and in the commercial he'll take it out and start shooting stuff.
I was in Atlanta this week. And the amount, like just the avalanche of political advertising in Georgia is unbelievable.
It's a windfall for radio. All right, we got to go. All right, Bert, thank you so much. When we come back, Joe Murray has participated with us in something we're excited to share with you.
HD Boston. From the opening kickoff to the final play. Your home of the past. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots are without Ramondre Stevenson and starting left tackle Verdarian Lowe at practice again yesterday. The team flew to England after that. They'll play Jacksonville at Wembley Stadium in London on Sunday morning. As for Drake May, the team did not seem concerned with his status. He was once again listed as a full participant at practice, but still designated with a knee problem. Denver handed New Orleans their fifth straight loss last night, 33-10. Tennessee has waived safety Jamal Adams. In Celtics news, they'll play the Knicks in their regular season opener Tuesday night. They did a little housekeeping yesterday. They waived Jay Scrubb, Ron Harper Jr., and big man Hassan Ward. All three are expected to play for Maine in the G League this season. In college football news, Boston College lost at Virginia Tech 42-21. BC is now 4-3. The LA Dodgers beat the Mets 10-2. They lead the National League Championship Series 3-1. And the Yankees blew a 5-3 ninth-inning lead in Cleveland. They lost to the Guardians 7-5 in 10 innings last night. The Yankees lead the ALCS 2-1. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Enjoy the game with the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please drink responsibly. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Let's talk turkey, shall we?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, in the sports industry, that's what you say.
Got your talking head right here, buddy.
98.5 The Sports Hub. In the office, in your car, in your footy pajamas, this is how Boston sports fans start their day.
I bet you're just jealous.
Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can also watch us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and search 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right. We played audio of Joe Murray. And is this first clip the old one of him talking about it or no?
No, it is not.
Okay, so I'm going to have to find that. This is Joe talking. This is what inspired this, if you must know. Here we go.
We will start tonight with some playoff baseball. New tonight at the Mets game, they're offering a cinnamon bun egg roll. It is a cinnamon bun with vanilla icing stuffed inside an egg roll wrapper and deep fried. Joe Murray, are you in or out on a cinnamon bun egg roll?
In. What's not good deep fried? Like deep fried shoe is probably good, right?
It's a cinnamon bun with vanilla icing, stuffed inside an egg roll wrapper, and then deep fried.
What would you dip it in?
I mean, it's already got the icing in there. I don't know if you need anything.
It would just have an explosion in your mouth. I love Cinnabon.
Maybe a side of icing?
Oh, a side of icing dip? Texas Roadhouse butter. When I go to Texas Roadhouse, people use a knife. Not me. I asked the waitress kindly, think you can give me one of those for myself there? And then I just take the bread and I just dip it right in that butter. I would like the same for this. So even though it's going to gush in my mouth, I want to dip it in.
I had a feeling you'd be in on that one. We will stick with the Mets. Another new addition to the Mets postseason menu, Italian Eats loaded fries. These are waffle fries topped with peppers and onion, provolone cheese sauce, sausage ragu, and grated Parmesan. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Italian Eats loaded fries?
Where are we eating this? Is this like at a game?
This is at the Mets game.
In. So it's a waffle fry, which is a solid fry. My favorite French fry is a steak fry. I mean, can you believe there's actually 10 types of fries?
Oh, you can do anything with a potato, Joe. New at the Buffalo Sabres Arena this year, we have the Dominator. Is 4 burger patties, brisket, bacon.
Hang on, let me get.
Yeah, get a pen and paper. You're gonna need it for this one. And it is served on 2 pepper jack grilled cheese sandwiches. It is 4.
So it's a grilled cheese as a top and a bottom.
It is 4 burger patties.
Holy smokes!
Brisket, cheese, ancho barbecue,
Where am I eating this one now?
This is at the Buffalo Sabres arena.
Oh, God, at a hockey game?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I want to use the bathroom at a hockey game. You can't take that to go, right?
You shouldn't be taking anything from an arena to go.
Out! Taking anything from an arena that's food. Like, what, are you going to bring your popcorn home from the movies? I used to do the slider Sundays. Yeah, they make you an ice cream cone and a cup. We bring those home all the time. That was like a collector's item. I had like a series going. I almost needed all 29 teams at the time. That was when you paid what you weighed back at Ground Round. I don't want to pay what I weigh now.
All right, so that's the free association of Joe Murray, and
it's really this line.
Oh, I don't know if I want to use the bathroom at a hockey game.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that before, when presented with the food, what I found interesting, because this literally never happens. I never think before I eat something, oh no, I'm going to get real bad diarrhea. Where am I? I guess if a food, like if I was lactose intolerant or something, I just would try to avoid the food.
Oh.
Yeah, instead of, willfully giving myself diarrhea. It's almost like when you know you're going to get hammered and you're eating the hangover the next day, like you're going to be hungover. This is like, yeah, this is going to give me explosive diarrhea, but it's worth the trip,
What would you dip it in?
All right, so we know that Joe Murray has food ranked on how much it gives them diarrhea. And then
Holy smokes!
And that he knows that when he eats something, he has to be aware of the bathrooms that surround him.
Oh.
That got us thinking, you know how Maz does Tears?
Oh, Maz's Tears, yeah. Very popular segment on the afternoon show.
We thought, what if Joe made tiers of places where you could go to the bathroom?
Murray's Tears of bathrooms. Murray's Tears where you do.
Yeah, all right. So this is a public service, really. If you're like Joe and when you eat something you got to be aware. It's like a Navy SEAL, or like better yet, the Secret Service. You got to know where every door is. Like mobsters will only sit with their facing the door so they can see their enemies come in. This is Joe Murray giving his tiers of when you're eating something, are the bathrooms going to be correct?
It's time for another edition of Them Thrones. All right, I'll start off by saying I'm not comfortable using the bathroom outside of my own home.
Well, you're on an island there, baby.
Whoa.
I have a friend I told you that liked that his fraternity house didn't have doors on the stalls. Like, he liked that.
Why?
And he's a lawyer, like, and a normal guy.
He's an animal.
But he's not. He's not like he's not like that. It was the weirdest thing. That's why it sticks with me.
Oh.
If it was like fierce, I'd be like, all right. But it wasn't. It's like a lawyer put together guy.
Already Them Thrones is a better name for this. Was that Murray's?
Oh, he produced that as a separate. I have an entirely separate intro in bed if we want to use that too.
Or the following places mentioned. But there are a few places I'm out on. I'm out at pooping at work. I'm out pooping on an airplane.
Oh, all right. Whoa.
Now that's difficult.
All right. Well, listen.
Especially on the long flight.
Okay, here's the deal. It's funny, Bert and Hardy and I were just discussing this. Work, I'm with you. But you and me, Joe, are the only two people that are on this same page. Because, again, at this station, at this building, Beasley Media, it doesn't matter if you're the only... You're not going to understand this, but you guys will. It doesn't matter if you're the only person in the building. If you go in the bathroom, someone will have just or be currently taking a dump.
Every time.
Every single time. 1 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it doesn't matter. Men's bathrooms are disgusting. And then, interestingly enough, Hardy and Bert and I, because Bert's now all in because he travels so much, we were talking about going to the bathroom at the airport. I go, I won't do it. Crown room when they have the full doors, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I will on an airplane because I don't care at all.
That's crazy.
But Joe, I guess it would be a size thing in all seriousness. But because he's tall and big. But
I would much rather, because it's a single person bathroom. Everything to me is the privacy of the single bathroom.
Remember we had the big show on, the wrestler came
Yeah.
in, and he was talking about going to the bathroom on a plane because they had to leave the door open for him. He told us at that time he made sure he took care of his business before he got on flights because he was very self-aware when he went into one of those tiny bathrooms.
And that's part of the reason they say Andre the Giant drank so much is that it was so uncomfortable from flying. He was going back and forth from Japan all the time, and they would have to, like, close the the curtain. Like when he went back there, and it was so uncomfortable for him, he would have to get loaded, and it took him forever to get drunk. But I would much rather go on the plane than in the airport. But the great thing about the airport bathroom, though, is not so much going to the bathroom.
Have you ever had to do it, though?
Sneaking your foot underneath.
Have you ever had tap, tap, tap.
Tap, tap, tap.
Have you ever gone on an airplane?
Oh, yeah, countless times. I have no problem doing that. Yes.
I maybe once as a kid,
Really?
as a little kid.
No, I got no problem
Wait a
with
minute.
that.
You've gone on long flights, of course, so you haven't.
7 to 8 hours, 8 or 9 hours.
Well, those are long flights.
That's a long flight. So you managed not to go to the bathroom?
Urinate, yes. But that's not what we're talking about.
No, we're talking about taking. I'll urinate anywhere.
Of course.
I'll urinate outside.
But, I mean, there hasn't been.
No.
Okay.
On an airplane? No.
Yeah, and for me, it's almost like a distraction. Like it's something to do.
Something to do for a few minutes, yeah.
Yeah, like
in the
it
middle of the
gets you
flight.
out of your seat. It kind of alleviates the claustrophobia a little bit, if that makes any sense. Like getting up and doing something on another part of the plane is actually
And going into an even smaller room on that plane?
That's why I said it doesn't make sense. But I mean, we're in a tube, so it doesn't really matter. But getting up and like walking somewhere and changing locations.
I always feel
sorta
like the
helps.
bathroom and again, no logic to it. I always feel like the bathroom is less secure than the rest of the plane. Like this is a separate compartment, like in Air Force One. Like this could be like an ejection pod.
It'll shake you around.
Yeah, and I might if any part of this plane is going to fall off by a section, it's this section because it's kind of separated.
Do you want to know who you never want to follow in to an airport bathroom, an airplane bathroom? I got 2 words for you. Old lady.
Yes. I was just about to say elderly gentleman.
No, old lady.
Oh, I don't know.
Old lady. It's got mothballs soaked in
I don't know.
garbage.
You go over that line, it smells either way.
Prunes
Trust
and
me.
oil of Olay.
Oh, it's bad.
No good.
I can't fit. And I am absolutely out on a Porter John. I am not sitting on that thing.
Oh, well, no. I mean, no.
not. That's
That's
obvious.
not an option.
No.
I'd rather go in my pants. I would rather go in my pants and then throw my pants in the woods than go in a porta-john. I don't like peeing in a porta-john.
But you will.
Yeah, but I'll use the urinal on the side.
Yeah, off to the left. Yeah.
You know what I don't like about that, though?
The spray bag.
No, the sound as it's rushing through.
Oh, I like
I
that.
don't know how the plumbing is different on that side urinal, but
Unbelievably loud.
anybody within a
It's
50-yard
soothing.
radius
Oh,
is
yeah.
like listening.
But
to
it makes me feel like a real man. Like, listen to that stream. That's coming out of me. It's like me when I'm with the lady. I'm like, you got to see this.
fire hose.
Well, that one girl asked for the whole 9.
I did have an experience once at the Hong Kong in Faneuil Hall, circa 2014. There literally wasn't a toilet seat on the throne. I think that was my cue not to poop there, but like the Candlebox song, I did it anyway.
Have a good show.
Another thing is, I have some issues pooping when traveling.
Oh,
despite
yeah.
when I eat. So, here is Joe Murray's Them Thrones top tier bathroom spots.
Oh, well, he did his own intro. We'll get to those after we break, but I'll say this. The traveling thing is very common. Constipation when traveling, that's a whole situation. In fact, some people take a stool softener. But then I will also tell you this. There are bars, and I believe the Penalty Box was one of them, and Sullivan's might be, but certainly across from our old station, Hogan's Run was one. No door. Like a no door. And did that bother the patrons of the bar?
Oh, no.
No. And here's another thing. If you're staying at a hotel with someone, and this goes out to some people in particular,
And I'm not going to go to the bathroom at all in the toilet in our bathroom. I don't care if we've been, and this isn't for my ex-wife because she never did this. But it is people I do know. If you're going even potty number one as a young lady, you make sure that door is shut and locked. The intimacy, no. Because you could be doing anything in there based on your position. Me, you know what I'm doing. I'm standing. You sitting. I can't take for granted that you're not doing
Don't need
that.
to be looking at that.
No, and I'm not looking at it on purpose.
Right.
It's in my line of sight. How dare you? All right. We will be back with Joe's tears. If it couldn't get any more.
I thought he had started already. I thought he had already started with the tears. Turns out he hasn't even begun yet.
No, he just told you he just told you the ghetto tier.
Okay.
Like they're not even bother talking about it. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, it was interesting on Toucher and Hardy where you could only get this kind of content. Joe Murray was talking about when they were doing In or Out on his award-winning night show. He said they're going over foods at stadiums, and I did find this interesting. Joe, before he would eat something, would like, I don't know if I could eat that. I'd have to run to the bathroom, and it wasn't like an allergy. It was just that if he eats this kind of food, oh boy. Now, in all seriousness, that does not happen to me. I found it interesting. I found it interesting enough to explore and to get further with Joe as he's about to give us his tiers of where he will go to the bathroom publicly. He doesn't like doing it. Pat, go ahead.
Hey, Fred, what's going on? Hey, I'm the guy that always calls in checking in on Adolfo and his Monopoly ticket from McDonald's, that mess. I want to talk about porta potties for a second, Fred, right? Here's a shout-out to all the tradespeople in the Boston building trades. Been working construction for 25 years. The porta potties you see at a concert, that's a palace to us.
Really?
All winter long, freezing, minus 20 degrees, and you're sitting in a frozen box that has a pile of poop that is probably 3 inches under your butt. And then when they close the building in, what do you think we get then? We get wheelbarrows with little roofs on them and a toilet seat on top, Fred. It's
Really?
ridiculous.
Oh, my God. Did you even know that, Hardy?
No.
Oh, wait.
I hope to God that gives you a little bit more appreciation for the people that build the city, because the conditions of porta potties in construction is insane.
All right. Whoa. Let's slow down everything. I want to keep you on the line here. All right. First of all, the porta potties on construction sites are usually locked. So this is construction worker on construction worker crime, essentially, if they're in that bad condition.
100%.
Okay.
100%. So women's porta potties are locked, so men can't go near them.
Yeah.
Pretty
Okay.
Good, yeah.
All right.
And then all of a sudden, by coffee time, you go in to squeeze one out because you were out drinking all night, and you notice that there's no toilet paper because 35 construction workers were out till 4 a.m. too.
All right, and second of all, go further with this wheelbarrow situation. So this is, you guys haven't jerry-rigged this thing.
Picture, nope, it's a product. You can probably Google it. Picture a wheelbarrow, right? Like a heavy-duty plastic with metal handles like you would push a wheelbarrow, 2 wheels on it, and a toilet seat built into the plastic top.
Jesus. And can you can't stand in it, obviously, can you?
Well, they would build a plywood room around it,
Oof.
you know?
Oof.
And here's another one for you. This one is ridiculous. So picture a porta potty you use at a concert. You take a Sawzall, you chop that thing in half right across the middle, horizontally. And then you got to make eye contact with people while you're trying to squeeze one out because they didn't get the walls up quick enough.
That's I'd rather go in my pants.
That's a new level of indignity.
You said you would rather go in your pants, Fred. I thought of the 3,000 times I've had to go to a porta potty, and I lost it. I was dying.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been listening to you. I've been listening to you since you came to Boston, the first episode.
Oh.
I called in back when I gave Adolfo a nipple twister down at some event at Bridgewater State College, and we laughed our asses off.
And talked philosophy.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I miss your old partner, but the show was awesome. Hardy, you're killing it.
Thank you.
You guys are good.
All right. He's up to nothing, so good.
So
you made the right choice.
This is interesting because it's on the flip side of the email we got from Justin, who said he likes Porta-Johns. He says he likes the shame. He said no place will humble you like a porta potty.
Yeah,
He said, I also like the one-note experience of a plastic poo palace. And you never expect them to be clean, so when they are, it's like winning the lottery.
Yeah, you look for a place that has a lot of street toughs that are into petty vandalism. And you sit in and you go, don't topple me over.
I'm in here.
I'm in here. Don't lock me in.
Whatever you do, don't topple it door side down so I'm stuck for an indeterminate amount of time.
Oh, I have no cell phone and no way to get help. I'm not very strong. Yes, John.
There's another email
There's so many
right
people
above that
piling
one.
in. All the women.
Did you read the one from Sam yet?
That just came
All right.
in.
All right. With you guys being poop connoisseurs,
No,
I would
come
like
on.
to-
That's
I would
unfair.
like to inform you of an interesting way of relief the wonderful U.S. Army uses. The equipment is known as a wag bag. And and essentially, it's the same.
It's okay. I can stop because let me tell you if I know.
Okay.
The band All that used to be the Descendants have an album called Trailblazer. The cover of it is this very thing because they were so enamored by it. Everyone knows on the road you can't go number 2, even in a tour bus, but let alone in a van. They named it the Trailblazer. It is its own like backpack-like seat that you fold out and put a bag into it. Is that what this is?
Not yet. It's essentially the same as the bag you use to pick up dog feces, just larger, and it attacks to this portable plastic toilet system.
Well, so it's exactly what I just said, Jonathan. Yes,
you
it's
said
a
folding out. Okay,
It's
that's
a
fine.
seat that you attach your bag.
So when you're out in the field, you plop that bad boy down between a couple of vehicles or off into the
I'd
woods.
rather do that
And
than
enjoy
go into the
great
porta potty.
outdoors.
Yeah.
I would much rather do that, and I think that's why that band was so enamored by it, is because it was so much better than going into like a truck stop or going cup in hand in van. As also is the way. All right, so these are tiers. Do we have any production to get into this tier, or am I just going in blind?
Just go in.
All right, you tell me. I just go in blind. All right, so this is tier 1.
Yeah.
All right, after this is over, I want the tear song again. Because it's too much dryness here. You're going to have to flavor this up a little bit.
I got you.
They're not long, so bear with me. All right, here's tier 1 of Joe's places that he has to go to the bathroom.
Tier 5. We all have a designated poop spot, right? A place where you go where you know you can go. Mine's a gas station off of 95. I don't need a key. It's always open and unlocked. Sometimes I'll even buy a scratch ticket if it's not too urgent.
All right.
That's nice.
All right, very good. Just keep this going.
It's wise.
This is going to need a little thing. So that's the creme de la creme for him. Is off at 95.
The gas station off of 95 and buys a scratch ticket.
In. Okay. All right, he's in on that. All right, here we go.
Tier 4. Bird's house. Bird lives on the beach in Point of Pines, Revere. He has a beach house. One day we're all on the beach.
All right, let's be honest. Bird has nothing. He lives with his parents. He's in his 40s. And I would imagine with all the traffic in and out of that house, you, the audience, could just walk into Bird's parents' house and take a dump. They wouldn't know that you're not supposed to be there.
I felt a little rumble in the jungle. Walked over to his house. Nobody was there. It was a beautiful experience. It had vents, lots of spray. It was a top 5 bathroom situation.
Well, what did you expect their house to have?
Sounds like a very peaceful experience. Going to Bird's parents' house.
You notice there was no key involved. It was just knowing where he lived. Yeah. Go, we have a sign that says, everyone welcome to dump. Come in, make yourself at home.
In.
You want to hear a Marine weighing in on the wag bag, as he calls it?
Okay.
Luke, go ahead.
Hey, morning, guys. How's it going?
Hey.
Really good.
Hey, good. So the Army's got lots of money. Marine Corps, we're the redheaded stepchild. So that nice seat that they're talking about, we have to take an ammo crate, okay, that, ammunition's been in. Okay? So then, you don't want to sit on basically wood because that's what the ammo crates are made out of. So then we got to take our isomat. That's like something we put a sleeping bag on. It's like think of something to not make the ground so miserable. And then we got to layer the top of that to create the toilet seat so we're not getting splinters up our butt. And then you put the wag bag on, and then you take a dump. So
are you doing this all under fire? Does this all have to be created under fire?
So not necessarily, but the ammo crate is a beloved, let's just call it piece of equipment that you just don't give away to anybody. So
Right.
once you have one, it's passed amongst the fellas out there.
So you're basically living like it's the 1300s, essentially,
Just
out there.
The vision and the image of you building this, I mean, it's kind of heroic.
It really is.
No. It's got metal on that. It's got like clamps on it that hold it together. You just got to basically put the box back together.
Well,
and then
yeah,
put
I know,
some
but
cushy stuff to make a toilet seat.
Yeah, but we're complaining about going on an airplane. I mean, you're literally fashioning toilets out of leftover items.
Love those Marines.
And hauling them around.
So,
Thank you for your
So
service.
the only thing I also will say is there's a guy by the name of Armin Trout. He's a sergeant, one of my buddies. And there was literally tank fire going on while we basically dropped a J-dam on an ammunition facility. And he ran into fire to get a box of MREs and ran back. That's the type of insanity that we're talking about here, guys. But yeah, wag bag, it's no shame. We'll take a. Hey, by the way, Port John, that's the only place to stay if you're cold because that poop is hot and steamy.
All right, thank you, Luke. No one thinks about these things. Dan, who is the construction man, complaining, no, that one man's hell is another man's heaven. Bob, go ahead.
Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Hardy. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
John. Hey. So, landscaping my whole life as a kid, and I just, while I was listening to you guys on my headset, I had a flash, and I'm in a factory where there's nobody here, and I had to go in the woods. So on the way back, I have all these little friggin' sticky things from the weeds all over my pants. So right now I have my knife, and I'm scraping these little friggin' sticky things all over my pants, off my pants.
The burrs.
They're little dots.
Yeah.
No, they're not burrs. They're something else. They're like a little flat seed that sticks.
And you sure didn't come from in you. It was in the woods.
No.
All right.
The other thing is like I was in Belmont last week. There's no porta-john, so, we have to improvise as landscapers. Usually I used to have a van that I worked in, so I would close the van. But this time I have a Ford F-150, and I have the back of the windows tinted. So what I do is I get inside the back of the truck, inside the cab. I put my knees towards the back of the truck, and my butt is towards the driver's seat. And then I take an empty fertilizer bag. I put it over my beautiful butt.
Yeah,
and I let it rip.
I understand what you're doing. I understand, Bob. I get it.
Let's see our hero, too. Thank you.
We're learning so much about how difficult it is.
Who knew?
I feel a little silly about this whole bit now. I mean, we're complaining about these.
We're rating levels
just doing the tears
of like hotel stalls, and these guys are MacGyvering ways to go out in the wild.
If you want to know about the depth of this audience, we literally had a guy talking about running into literal tank fire to grab something to use. All right, well, kick the tear music up again. Yeah. Here we go. Let's get through this. All right, so this is Joe Murray. Who would have known this is the bit we could have done for 4 hours on a show?
We also had a tweet from a lawyer. Says, there's still a small part of my brain that truly believes flushing the toilet on a plane is insecure and is going to make the plane crash.
No, there's that green liquid in there that takes care. Well, no, it has caused damage because the planes, this is all serious. Whatever you do, whatever they have, the chemicals freeze whatever is in there.
The blocks of...
And the blocks drop from the airplanes, and that does happen.
Yeah.
And when it does, I'll buy it. All right, here we go.
Tier 3, the casino. Multiple stalls. It's very clean. Always has toilet paper. You can search for your next bet. Plenty of time to unwind. And there will also be someone there to offer you a mint or hand sanitizer to go back out there and kill it.
Oh, well, then that would be like doing it at like a strip club. By the way, nothing like a bathroom attendant for something to make sure you're not in a strip club masturbating. Like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I guard the stalls. Because it's not from doing coke.
No.
That flies. It's basically no sex and no masturbation. Now, is cocaine a diuretic or a constipation thing?
Well, I don't know what the pure stuff is, but most of the stuff ends up being a laxative because it's cut with laxative and baby formula, baby laxative.
So anywhere at 4 a.m, I would imagine, is a real scene.
Yeah. Especially in a casino, yes.
I should have known because I had a friend who's had this really, really hot girlfriend. And one time she went like, does anyone have any coke? I got to take a dump.
Oh, God. Jesus.
And I went, I'd still do her. She was that hot.
Tier 2. Any fast food restaurant, but in particular, a McDonald's. It's sanitized. And quite frankly, no one goes inside for fast food anymore. We're all lazy. We just do the drive-thru. Now that no one's in the bathroom, it is a top-tier bathroom situation.
Joe's not wrong. You'd be surprised. My ex-wife, her dad owned McDonald's, and she used to work for an agency that did McDonald's, so I would be at them and be in the back. So there's a level of cleanliness that has to be kept. The same cannot be said about Chipotle. Kaboom! They don't even empty the bathrooms. You know what Chipotle sucks? The one on Needham Street in either Newton or Needham. You need to get your employees under control over there. They're not emptying the trash, even. Overflowing trash.
Holy smokes.
And I don't mean to throw anyone under the bus, but I'm on the side of the franchisee in this situation. All right, and finally, because this has to end eventually.
That's too bad.
Whether it's the last one or not, it's the last one.
It's the last one.
And the final one of them thrones, a hotel.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than using a bathroom hotel. Nothing is better than using a bathroom hotel.
A bathroom hotel?
I'm Joe Murray.
It's hotel bathroom?
I think that's what he meant.
Yeah, it's every time I get an escort.
And that is them thrones. Gonna end up a big old pile of them thrones.
We got two simultaneous bits. All right, very good. Thank you, Joe. And now that I could tell you stories from my own experiences in the hotel bathrooms, but
we all have them. But the hotel lobby bathroom ends up taking the top tier.
And that's no surprise. But I never thought we'd hear a guy describing going in a truck, a wheelbarrow, and running into the literal tank fire to pick up something to take a dump in. All right, we'll do sports for the next two segments.
Okay.
That's how much we're going to be into it. The next two segments. We'll be right back. Hear that?
Gonna drop a big old pile of them thrones.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots will practice shortly over in London.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
All right, in reaction to the thing we just did, we will now give you the meat and potatoes, which is the NFL slate, a little around the NFL. We talked to Bert Breer. This is about the games coming up. Obviously, last night was a disaster. We talked to Bert Breer about the situation with Drake May. He said it's nothing, basically. He flew to London. He said that with the rules and with all the betting and that the way that the NFL is in with these companies, you have to report everything, that if it got out that there was any kind of like minor thing even and you didn't report it,
right,
you'd get in trouble. So May he didn't say like Volan was wrong or anything. He didn't even say anything negative about Volan. Again, I don't understand. Ben's nice, like a nice guy, and I read him. I do not understand, like, and it's my own ignorance, why everyone hates him so much. Like, I don't get it.
I think, well, it's like a lot of things. I think a couple of people decided that they didn't like him, and then a lot of people just follow along like, oh, I'm not supposed to like him.
And fair enough, I know obviously why people don't like Tomasi is because of the whole Spygate thing.
Yeah, that's how it started.
And, like, good for people still hiring him because they, standing by the writers. But I get it. Like, if you break a big-time thing that is called into question and it affects the local team in that way, obviously. And good for Tomasi for persevering through that. Quite honestly.
It was not fun for him.
Because the amount of crap that, like, I get just for being an idiot, like, I've never, like, actively hurt the Patriots.
No, he got it from all sides back then.
Yeah, that
was
good.
bad.
Yeah, I know the Crafts went after him. They did in that documentary.
Yeah.
They said they were going to buy the Herald to fire him, which, as a rich guy, you can't do. That's when you just cross that line. But anyway, May's going to play, according to everyone. And, Hardy, on Sunday night, there is another bit of a quarterback controversy, is there not?
Yeah, it's happening right now as Justin Fields has been playing quarterback for the Steelers. And Russell Wilson has kind of let the cat out of the bag that he's going to be playing. What does Justin Fields have to say about all this?
I don't think I played, good enough. If I'm being real with you. If I'm being real with myself, I think if I did play well enough, I don't think there would be any sort of.
He's very quiet about this. He says, I don't think I played well enough.
Brown-esque.
Yeah, I don't think I played well enough. If I did play well enough, this wouldn't be any kind of an issue.
Yeah, and apparently, according to Bert Breer, who lets things out, and he knows more than he's saying, maybe there's a little bit of conflict in the Steelers organization about starting Russell Wilson, maybe the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, based on comments that he's even made publicly, is not over the moon with the decision to play Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, strangely enough, according to Bert and other people, not loved by his teammates or the organization he plays for.
Hasn't been loved wherever he's gone.
Yeah, because he's a huge dork.
Keeping that perfect record intact. But as far as the Jets go, Fred, you were saying it earlier, it bears repeating, this is an absolute must-win game.
Yeah.
You have to win this one.
A 2-point dog in this game on the road against the Steelers, and they've pulled out the kitchen sink. They've surrendered everything to Aaron Rodgers. There's no even idea that he's not running the team. Woody Johnson has put it entirely in his hands. Aaron Rodgers' legacy should rest on this season. A lot of his legacy. Because then he's a loser. Because say he's so physically gifted and so wonderful and he's the greatest, and we don't know as fans even how good he is. Okay, he's won one Super Bowl. He's cost his team trips to the Super Bowl. And if you want to just really narrow it down to like a play, when the game was on the line, he's effed up. He came into this Jet game team. They've given him complete control of the organization. They brought in Devontae Adams. They brought in Alan Lazard. In fact, there's, I believe, like 7 guys that used to play with him in Green Bay on this team.
One of them's gone, Randall Cobb, who's not even there anymore.
Well, Randall Cobb can't play football.
No, but the point is...
No, I know. But they brought in a guy for him that can't play. And so if they don't make the playoffs, they don't obviously have to go to the Super Bowl. That's asking way too much. It's the Jets. But if they don't make the playoffs, then that has to taint his legacy. Because watch him go to another team and go to the AFC Championship game just
He's
like
not
Brett
going to
Favre.
another team. He's
well,
done.
Well,
There's
Brett
no way.
Favre didn't make the playoffs with that Mangini coach Jet team, and then went off to made the NFC Championship game with that, and then threw that away. But at least he made it for the Vikings.
But Favre was a couple of years younger when it came to the Jets. Just a little different.
Yeah, but he's a gunslinger with a pillow dish.
That's true.
So that's the Sunday night game that we were talking about. They're one of the Monday night games. We got two of them this week. Chargers will visit Arizona. What's going on with Jim Harbaugh after he had to leave the sideline last week?
Just talked to the cardiologist before I came in here. Got some test results back. The heart of an athlete is a direct quote from my cardiologist. So that made me feel good. And
what was that? The heart of a what? What did you say?
Athlete, I believe.
It's a direct quote from my cardiologist. So that made me feel good. And he said stress test was really good too. I think he used the word incredible. I think he did. My stamina was incredible, and heart got stronger as it was more stressed. Back in rhythm. Hopefully that that sticks. Got the monitor on, so good news. I took that as a compliment. Blue Twisted Steel. Feeling good about that.
Yeah.
He's got a little Trump in him. Hey, buddy. I was thinking. You have something monitoring your heart on.
I'm the best.
Heart
Haven't
on.
you heard?
No, they're doing it because they want to study how amazing it is.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out how I have such an amazing heart.
I've never seen a heart as strong as mine.
I'm not fat. This is all muscle. This muscle's fat's the new muscle.
Yeah.
Like, dude, your heart's not good. You had an issue with it, and then you have to have it monitored.
The other team in L.A., the Rams, they'll be taking on the Raiders. And Max Crosby didn't sound too happy this week.
I'm not here to rebuild. I'm here to win. So, I don't know whatever that means, but
He's on the
I'm
Let's
here to
Go.
win
You
now,
should have saved it
wherever I'm
for
gonna
Let's
be.
Go. He's on the Let's Go with Jim Gray.
Oh,
good for him.
And the reason I know is because it's advertised all the time. I do not listen.
you should have saved
But
it.
yeah, I'm here to win now, and wherever I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be here to win. So that's all that matters to me.
Okay.
Well, you
There's
could go
a
to
couple
the
of
Jets.
a couple of teams that might need you.
They trade everything away for you.
They say he is not available for trade. That's what the Raiders keep saying.
Well, yeah, no, you can't trade Max Crosby. Max Crosby's top 5 player, top 10 player in the league.
Finally, Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are doing fine record-wise, but the offense does look different. What is your confidence level in your wide receivers, Patrick?
Yeah, I have extreme confidence with the guys that are on that football field. I mean, they've won games, they've won Super Bowls, they've made plays in big moments, and Brett Veach does a great job of bringing players in that can step up whenever their number's called. And so every time I step on that football field, I feel like we have the best ability to win. And I think that's a credit to Brett Veach and Coach Reed bringing in guys that really get after it and put in the work to be great every single day.
Mentions that they've won Super Bowls with those guys. Super Bowl rematch against the 49ers on Sunday.
And by the way, when did the guitar player from Winger start getting so involved with that organization? I mean, you don't get the reference?
Nope.
Same name as the guitar player, basically, Winger. Nope. Jackasses. And one more thing about the Harbaugh situation, a little bit of insisting on itself thing. John Harbaugh leaving his press conference in the middle, like at the beginning of it, because he had to go check in on Jim.
Mm-hmm.
You knew what was going on.
Got a heart problem, Fred.
No.
Check to make sure his brother was fine.
No. He went to the tent on the
touching.
sideline.
Oh.
Like he didn't have to leave his press conference. Get out of here. He didn't want to do it. He should have just said, "I don't want to do this. I got to go check on my brother." First of all, there's no way you like each other in a healthy way.
I think it's touching.
He did it. I mean, it would have been different if he did it after a loss, but they had won.
I don't
so-
care. I think it's a little bit of a look at me thing. That's all. That's all.
Only child over here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'll never learn to love. Can someone teach me?
We've tried.
I'm like Tommy
not
Lee,
working.
a bad boy. Let's go make a sex tape. Yeah.
You're just saying that because your old lover Billy Jaffe is here.
We
Is it
never were
weird for you
lovers.
guys? Is it weird for you
No.
guys?
We're never lovers, but we're good friends who
Yeah.
hang out all the
but
time.
it never gets weird.
What?
I mean, decades later, after you two spent some time together in Atlanta doing God knows what.
I know, and now you're playing hard to get. It's
you can
all wrong.
you can just be friends now.
No, he's like an old glove. I just fit into it real nice. You know?
Oh.
Yeah, Billy knows. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Play. Your home of the past. 98.5. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots are now in London, getting ready for a game against Jacksonville at Wembley Stadium this Sunday morning. Ramondre Stevenson and starting left tackle Vidarian Lowe both missed their second straight practice yesterday. As for new starting quarterback Drake May, who is once again listed as a full participant with a knee problem, but the team confirmed yesterday they are not too worried about it. Denver beat New Orleans last night 33-10. They are 4-3. Yesterday, Tennessee waived safety Jamal Adams. Celtics open up their regular season Tuesday night at home against the Knicks. Yesterday, they waived Jay Scrub, Ron Harper Jr., and former Springfield, Massachusetts high school star big man Hassan Ward. The Boston College football team now has back-to-back losses. They got blown out at Virginia Tech last night, 42-21. They're 4-3. And at the baseball playoffs, the Dodgers lead the National League Championship Series 3-1 after a 10-2 road win over the Mets last night. Earlier, Cleveland came from behind and beat the Yankees 7-5 in 10 innings. Guardians now trail the ALCS 2-1. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the new fall flavors at the 99, like the freshly baked home-style chicken pot pie packed with chicken and topped with buttery, flaky crust. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side, there's a separation. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Twitch feed of this is going to be used all around the internet.
Get up.
The cat is finally out of the bag.
Get up.
We're back. Toucher and Hardy.
Get up.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Billy Jaffe's in the chair next to Hardy, and we're having fun here.
That's Wiggy-esque.
Oh, no, there's words in mine. Yeah. Oh. The best thing about when Wiggins did that with you is that he goes, I'm in the cipher. They're usually bragging about like how the words were just, they weren't even coming through his mind anymore. They were coming from the universe. Yeah. Yeah. Billy Jaffe is joining us on Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. As we are, you can watch him. Maybe Nicholas will make a video of this. Who knows? On YouTube. As we're on that, and you can watch it 24 hours a day. It runs
Amazing.
live, and then you can watch it on demand.
And you can see the double pimping that Billy Jaffe is doing, not only for the Morning Brew podcast, but for the Spark Sharpeners. You know, you just sharpen the hockey skates at home, Billy. There's no reason to
I absolutely love that piece of equipment.
You know what I'm saying? Just do it at home.
I'll bring your skates to my house and do them just for you. Do you even have skates?
I do, and they don't need to be sharpened because I've skated on them 3 times since I bought them.
We got to get the 3 of you guys on the ice.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
No.
I don't see that happening at all.
Not anymore. No more stunts.
I actually skated twice this week. The hips are starting to get.
Yeah, you played hockey at Michigan.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
It's just a little different
Yeah.
than the rest of us here.
You don't need to pull the Jimmy thing off where he got net in Atlanta.
No,
we don't need to do that.
I don't need to be loved that much.
No.
I mean, I have my
But I'll
own
sharpen your
ego
skates just
issues.
for the heck of it.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? He lives right by Newton North. All the kids smoke in his backyard.
Front yard now.
Billy, he's host of the Morning Brew podcast, as he just mentioned that he's also the side gigs, the Nesson situation, and NHL Network. He's a man who's working all the time. All right, the Bruins,
Big win. They needed that the other night.
Sure.
They needed it. Needed a road trip.
You think so? Yeah.
Absolutely.
You and Beers, like guys that played, it's funny because as fans we're conditioned to think, home and road. Like you want to be home. And funny, last year during that homestand, they were terrible. And Beers and Jaffe kept saying the whole time,
home is nice for a certain amount of time. You're used to that cadence. You want to get out. And the other thing is this. They haven't had a road. I know they started in Florida. That was different.
Yeah.
That's a whole different vibe. You're going down a day before, which isn't normally. Actually, 2 days before, 2 nights before. You're down there. You got a full day practice on there. They had the hurricane to worry about or to think about. Anyways, didn't stop the game from happening because it didn't impact that part of the state. But the Bruins, this roadie, feels like now they're into hockey season. Now they're out. You look at the road trip ahead. You know you got a couple of days off in Utah. You know you got a couple of days off in Nashville. And if you got a couple of days off, those are pretty good states or cities, to have some time off. But the other thing is it gets you into the routine of travel, practice, play, have a day off, practice, play, travel. You know what I mean? It's a nice thing for these guys. And they played their most structured, 60 minutes the other night. It wasn't perfect. The PK wasn't great. A couple of ill-advised penalties. That's been an issue. Still too many penalties. But they played well. And, they only gave up 5 power play goals to Colorado, which is struggling right now. I think they're going to be okay, too. They'll be okay.
Yeah, sure.
But holy smokes, that power play's good.
Yeah, I kind of took it with a grain of salt when I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, they do look good. And then I kept reminding myself that this Colorado team is all kinds of banged up, and they've got plenty.
They are,
of
but
So is Florida the second time.
You still got to beat them. That's the thing. And
Yes.
you look at other teams around the league that have been, crapping or been all. Calgary's playing great, and everybody's like, "You're going to beat Calgary, no problem." Calgary's undefeated. You still got to beat them, and it's an 82-game schedule, so you're going to have the hiccups, the ups and the downs, and you're going on the road. In theory, playing against the team in Colorado, if they probably and when Colorado tied it up 1-1 on the power play, you're thinking, oh boy, here we go, like whoa, but be careful now. Don't let Colorado feel good. Colorado actually, Hardy, had been scoring first in all the other games and then giving up the lead. Here they are, they tie it up soon after the Bruins score. And you're like, all right, this is huge. This is huge. And the Bruins responded. They had some dominant shifts in the first and second period where they completely controlled play behind the net.
All right, so fourth line has been great.
Awesome.
Right. Like not fourth line either.
I was going to say dominant shifts by someone other than the fourth line because they came out and that
good
all
point.
That, all
I
that
will
stuff
say this.
You're talking about behind the net.
I will say
doing
this.
Everything
first shift of the second period, it was the Coyle line. They were spectacular to reset the table to start the second period. But otherwise, it hasn't been consistent.
Second line not so great on this team.
Yeah, where's Geeky?
Geeky was scratched. He needs to be better. No. And look, this was not it's going to be. This was a direct indictment on how a couple of guys have or haven't been playing.
Yeah.
And they sat them, and I think one of them will be back in.
But all of them seem to have started, not every forward in the top 6, but a lot of them have started poorly. Charlie Coyle just got his first point, let alone his first goal the last game.
No question.
You got guys like Geeky that are struggling. Frederick seems to be struggling. It just seems like everyone has started
Frederick's
poorly
been
at
he
once.
was on the third line. He was playing center, then on the wing, and I thought his game the other night was excellent. I thought his game. He had what did he have? 7 hits, I think, the other night that they had him down for. But I thought he was instrumental in helping elevate that line, and they were better. They were much better. But no question, even the top line. Elias Lindholm's line, they've been producing points, but it hasn't been as wow factor that you would hope. But it's okay, meaning at least they're scoring some points. They need to be better. Coyle absolutely needed to be better in his line. And the third line, what do you do with the third line? That's the conundrum right now.
Are they too slow?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that they can play slow at times, and there's a difference. I don't think they're going to beat you. They're not going to be known as the fastest team in the league, but it's the way that they've been either playing or not playing, Fred, at times, especially at times the retrievals. Florida's the prime example. First game in particular, the puck retrievals up to the forwards, I didn't think it was great decisions by the D. That slows down your first play. Then the forwards were stationary or too stretched, and they never really got cohesive. I don't think they're. I actually asked that question. Razor and I were talking about that on the pod recently, and we neither of us think that they are. Now, again, they're not going to beat you though. They're not going to have that X factor of oh my God speed, but they do have a couple of guys. Johnny Beecher is a good example. Cole Koepke, that if they can increase the pace, those guys, and then the team increase the pace by how they move the puck, I think they're okay in that regard. I don't love their defense yet.
Right.
But it was at least
But that was
better.
supposed to be the strength of the team.
I'm not talking 6-man unit.
No,
I'm
I
talking
know.
Right. That needs to be better as well because they're still giving up chances. But again, I go back to that Colorado game and not recency bias, but it's all we have to go by, so to speak. Thankfully, they killed plays better in that game. They moved the puck much better, and especially their D, I thought. Now they got to clean up the PK, which has been so freaking good over the last couple of years. They gave up 3. And again, 2 of those 3 were heavy duty.
What'd you think of Corpusalo?
Thought overall pretty darn good. I love the breakaway save early on in the game. I thought on Miles Wood, I thought that really set the tone. I thought he made that paddle save in the second period where he, wasn't scrambling, but there were traffic in front of him. The goal that was led in by the Rantanen shot, the third power play goal where he had to slide laterally to his left. Again, we're talking about the pod race, like he was there. We talked about it. He was there, but it went through him. You don't love that one, but I thought the others. I mean, that shot by Ross Colton, he's on the inner arc of the circle for crying out loud, and he sniped it. And then Cale Makar has one of the heaviest shots around, and he absolutely rocketed it with traffic.
To simplify it, is he, because you hear different things, is he as bad as advertised, or was it he was playing on a very poor team?
I'm going to go with the latter from the sense that because the previous year with Columbus and LA in front of teams at that time that were better, Columbus, LA, yes, was much better and had structure. His game had a lot more structure. And so I'm going to go with, it may take some time, Fred, for him to get back to that regular level. Now, he's not going to play 50-something games to where he's going to get routine and where he's going to get that confidence. And this is going to be the challenge now, I think, for Jonas, who I had a chance for the first time the other day to sit down or talk to a bit. Really affable guy, very pleasant, very happy to be
Better
here.
than me?
Barely. Just a tad. Barely.
Same connection?
Yeah.
Fred, he's just trying to poke you a little bit. You're fine.
But
it's working. You're negging me.
I think with Bob Asenza helping, but also just with the team, the big caveat, I'm going to contradict myself here, team needs to be better.
Was he like a stud prospect or something? Like, I don't know anything about
Corpusalo?
him. Yeah.
Well, he what he was when he got regular time, and he was the guy in Columbus that they felt eventually could take over. Bobrovsky had been there, and they're like, we have this guy, and we had a few other guys too that are in the pipeline, but he was the main guy.
Okay,
and so stud,
because he got all that money. I'm just
but he got the money because he hit it right, and when you hit things right, free agency, he was. People said, look, he's playing on a meh Columbus team, and he's doing pretty damn well. All right, and they also had a defenseman there in Gavrikov. The reason I'm telling you that, they were traded together. From Columbus to L.A.
Okay.
And both of them were these could be difference makers on a really good team. Now, he played pretty well with L.A. His save percentage was in the mid-9s and 19, something like that. And he had a good goals against in the 11-plus games that he played. But when all's said and done, I mean, is he a top 8 starter in the NHL, top 10? Probably not. Is he in that next tier? That's where they think people saw him. Now, he's a backup here now. You know it. We all know it. He's going to be the backup.
Right. All right. They're playing in Utah.
Have you been to Salt Lake?
No.
You have? Have you?
I've been to Utah. I don't know if I've ever been in Salt Lake.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you? Why?
Yes, I've been. Okay. It's different, but evidently I haven't been. I was here in the old IHL days, the International Hockey League. And it was fun, but I remember you go to bars and then they would serve you drinks. You got to pay what is it? It's not an entrance fee.
It's
What
like
is
a
it? A membership, which is the same thing.
It's different now.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
But at the time we had to do that, I think we were there on I think we had like a 4-day road trip or 2 games or like a Thursday and Saturday or whatever, or Tuesday and whatever it was. And the bars were kind of quiet, but they served you these drinks like you're on an airplane.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you remember playing against a guy named Dougie Roberts?
Well, Doug went to, no, his not Doug that went to his
not his father,
right?
But
right, his
but
father
there
went.
was Gordy was like
Gordy
the dad
played
of
in
both. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I don't
actually dated my grandmother for a time after my grandfather passed.
Huh.
The
they're
patriarch of the family,
right?
But
and I played with
his grandson was another Dougie, and he played IHL.
Yes.
A little bit, and he got called up to that Salt Lake team a couple of times when he was playing in New Mexico.
Yes, yeah. And so, anyways, it's interesting town.
It's all interesting.
There we go.
Shush.
Okay. All right.
No,
it's a
you
Michigan
shush.
State story right there.
All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so Utah.
Yeah.
Very good. They serve in the airplane bottles.
I don't know if they do anymore or not.
Utah's like Vegas, but for people that don't like fun. It's a place that's very
very dusty.
Yeah,
they say
it's
there's
like
a ton of money there. Just a ton of money came in the last decade. A ton of money from California. They say it is booming.
Oh, by the way,
entrepreneurship.
that's what's
booming.
happening. Knoxville
is getting everyone from California because of the no state tax. People are leaving California in droves. That's another story. But this is more about the hockey team.
Yeah.
When I was reading preseason and listening to people talking about preseason prognostications, people were picking Utah to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hockey's one of these weird leagues where the expansion teams do well, a.k.a. Vegas. Why did I say a.k.a.? I don't know, also known as Vegas. But, it's Vegas' example of that. How good is this team? It's funny because I've never seen them play. So tonight I'll check it out. It's Utah.
They're really don't do it tonight because you'll be missing them. It's tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night.
I don't want you to think that you've done anything funny.
Weird looking building.
Yeah.
At least for now.
Well, that's a whole nother thing, right? They're retro now. They're redoing it over the next 2 years to where they will have no unobstructed view seats because it's built for basketball.
I'll be obstructed view. Yep.
Now, the team, remember, this was a team that was so god-awful for years in Arizona that they accrued like double-digit. I'm talking 20-something first and second-round picks over a 6 or 7 year span. So they are built just like Buffalo. Although they've done it well, Buffalo still stinks. So now you take this team from Arizona that was starting to
That's
get
right.
better.
They're from Arizona. Well, I didn't think it's expansion. Yeah, they moved from Arizona.
Right,
My
and
bad.
so
Go
they
ahead.
have a few kids that, especially last year, the Dylan Gunther's one kid's name, and we'll talk about on the hockey show. He can rip the puck, and he's scoring a ton right now. And they've got the young kid who played at BU for a few years, Clayton Keller. He's their captain now. I think, Fred, given the West teams, I think that they can make the playoffs. I think that, this is the next step for them to be a number 8-7 type seed in the Western Conference. They're playing with a ton of energy. It's amazing what it does playing in front of a full house of. It's only 12,000 right now, I think, for hockey. It's going to be 16,000+ in a couple of years when it's all said and done. But it's amazing what playing in a real, we'll call it an NHL rink, can do for your team, and it can give you energy and can give you a good attitude. So they're good. I think they're going to be. Listen, they went on their road trip. I believe they're 3-1-1. They lost their last. They lost one in overtime, and they lost their other one in regulation. I think they're a very good team. They played one game at home, and now they're back there, and the Bruins are going to be in. It should be well, it'll be interesting to see this, Fred. The Bruins travel, beautiful, like their fans come out wherever they are. Like Colorado, it was off the charts Bruins. I'm curious to see if it's heavy-duty Bruins fans in Utah. Not that they haven't, because they've had hockey there forever and ever. It's just minor leagues. So I'm curious to see what kind of Bruins nation shows up there.
I don't know. In Utah, they have all those kids. Everyone's got kids. They got no trouble filling that place.
More per capita consumption of Jell-O than any other state because it's cheap and you can make a ton of it. You need dessert that night. You got 9 kids. Make a big thing of Jell-O.
When's the last time you had Jell-O?
When I had my colonoscopy.
There you go. That's it.
They fed you?
The only thing you can eat the day before is
after you
clear
start taking it,
or yellow Jell-O.
Yeah.
That's not the only thing that's yellow or clear.
He's your friend.
He's your partner.
Just lower yourself.
You've been in
your friend
with
for
him.
decades.
I'm a
like a glove.
We're work friends. We're not real friends.
like
We're
a
work
glove.
friends.
Yeah, it's a little
I'm like a
different.
human fire hydrant.
Billy, your thoughts?
Nice to see you guys.
Billy Jaffe, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone loves him on Nesson and on the Morning Brew podcast. Thank you, Billy.
Thanks, Billy.
And Saturday with
Thank
the
you,
non-expansion with
Yes.
the Arizona.
Tomorrow night.
I somehow forgot about the
The
team in
Utah
Arizona.
Hockey Club. We'll have to guess
They're
the
easy-
name.
That team was easy to
Well,
forget
they
about.
played at Arizona State University's arena.
It is kind of funny. It's
Mullet
like-
Arena.
Well,
Yeah, a mullet.
People giving the side eye to where they're playing now. It's like, do you remember where this team was playing?
Twice the capacity.
Yeah.
The ceiling was about as high as in this room.
The NHL transferred back to Winnipeg. That's all you need to know. It's perfectly fine to have a ceiling.
I have a
It's
buddy-
not as bad as Jacksonville.
A buddy in Phoenix who used to go to those games, though, and he said it was kind of cool because you're seeing
Yeah, I know.
maybe not for Arizona, but for visiting teams, you're seeing it's like seeing an acoustic show from a band. That
For
you
1
like.
year, it's cool. For 1 year, it's cool. For anything more than that, it's crap.
Well, if you're an A's fan, have fun because that's how.
And what are they going to
baseball's
do with the Tampa Bay Rays now without their building?
I heard a guy
What are
from
they gonna
Tampa
do?
Bay talking about it yesterday, and they're screwed. There is, I guess, an open-air stadium in Orlando that they could play, but they're hesitant to do that because the new billion-dollar place they're building is 2 or 3 years away from being done.
3, yes.
So in the all right, hang out. It's worth talking about. I'll do it real quick. But so the cost to redo Tropicana Field
they're never going to. It's
No.
such a waste of money because they're already building.
If people don't know
there's
what
no-
happened, the top came off. Basically,
and
it
there's
ripped
no
apart.
drainage in the building. There's no drainage
Right.
on the field because they never needed it. There's
Right.
never been any water in there.
Right. So it's basically ruined.
Yes.
But they're already in the process of building, and they haven't broken ground yet. But it's been approved and everything for this
Yes.
new field.
But
so
3 years
obviously,
away. Yes.
3 years away. So obviously, they're not going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars
No.
to redo Tropicana Field.
Right.
There's no real viable place for them to play in Tampa. But they just don't know right now. They don't know. They have made no announcements. They really don't know.
Do they have a cornfield that they can build a
No,
field?
you know
It would
what?
be-
though?
oh, and I love it. Oh, dead guys coming out. Let's dig some graves up. So,
Major League Baseball originally wanted them to split home games between Tampa and Montreal. You remember that?
Yeah.
So maybe Montreal is the place.
when I was going to Rollins, there was all that talk of San Francisco Giants moving to Orlando.
Right, I remember that.
And that was before Tampa had a franchise. So Orlando has a place to play.
Can't be that big though.
No, it's not. It's not big.
But it's open air?
It's open air,
Oh.
so you'll be playing in Orlando.
You think the
in
Rays
July
are
and
selling
August.
out?
No, I was going to say, it doesn't really
minor
matter.
league ballpark in Orlando
No,
will
it
be just
doesn't matter.
fine.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so there you go. All right.
See ya.
They do. I mean, it's not the Yankees Park though. It's not where
Legends
the Yankees
Field,
train. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Billy. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Let's do the email bit.
Hardy and Chappie are still going on and on about the guy that his grandma has sex with.
There was
Best part of the interview.
And I regret using the word dated. He was her gentleman friend.
Right.
Attended my wedding.
Yeah.
The patriarch of the Roberts
in
family.
the cloakroom.
And he gave me. He owned a pool company.
Yeah, it's
Billy,
spa.
sit back down. Let's dig into this.
You used to have these
Billy.
these parties. They were so concerned with you drunk driving, they'd take your keys and put them in this fishbowl. So you had to fish them out afterwards. It was the whole situation. Your grandmother really let loose after. Was she a widower or was it a divorce?
She was a widow. A widower is
It's someone who
man.
kills. Is someone who kills the.
She was a widow. My
Okay, so
grandfather passed.
And then she just was like,
And then
here we go.
And they would, do activities together, play
Yeah.
cards,
Oh,
and,
nice.
go out to dinner, things like that.
Cowgirl.
Canasta, was that the game they played?
No.
Pinochle.
Pinochle. Okay.
Knuckles.
I'm not.
You led us down this path.
No.
She liked to be
It
in
was
control.
it was a wonder. It was a,
not that bad.
It was a story that connected family with hockey with someone that
She's
that
like,
Billy
you lay down, let
Yep.
grandma take it.
Billy had played against, and it all made sense. And then Fred's trying to get under my skin by talking about my departed grandmother.
like your grandmother's gentleman caller got into her skin. I've been watching these TT Boy interviews.
Yeah.
All right, I apologize. Is she
There you
dead?
go.
She's got to be dead.
She has passed.
Now don't you feel bad?
No.
Talking about his dead grandmother.
No, he's in his 50s, I'd assume. It
Oh.
would be really, it would really not be in her best interest, I don't think, to be living anymore.
No.
I think the best,
Yeah.
dying of old age is all right. That's all right. You're probably ready to go at that point. You're falling apart at that point. All right.
Lots of emails based on the Thrones segment.
I haven't even.
I even got one.
I got one here.
Adam got an email.
I did.
Adam, go ahead. You got an email.
I did. I got
Participate.
one.
Like one of
from
the guys.
Joshua, and the subject is best about pooping in porta potties.
Just
and
can we not say poop?
He sent.
I say
Well, I can't-
effing anything.
Okay, sure.
I hate
Okay.
adults, males using. I hate anyone saying it for that matter.
Well, this actually uses the S word. He just sent along a link to, and I actually just I messaged it to you on Instagram earlier, Fred, so that you can open up your DMs there. I slid into your DMs with this from Joshua. It's at S_houses_of_Boston, and it is a whole bunch of art and poetry from the inside of porta potties in and around Boston.
Art.
New follow for you. Maybe they'll follow you
what
back
medium?
and help you get to your goal of 25,000.
What medium is the art in? Is it like a late Warhol period piece?
Sharpies.
Okay.
All black Sharpies.
Nice.
Okay.
Do you remember in not the old building, but the building before in Brighton, when they were doing some construction and we had the trailer of bathrooms that they parked outside in the parking lot? And for a time there, we had to go outside to use the like the trailer toilets or whatever.
Those were
they
like
called.
golf tournament bathrooms when it's like a trailer, like actually flushes and stuff.
Not exactly a porta potty.
They're pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're really nice. Like when they used to have the Deutsche Bank, which I did enjoy, when they had the Deutsche Bank and the station would have access to this like tent, but next to the tent there was like an air conditioned trailer.
Yes.
So it's not even that's not a porta potty. I mean those flush. There were urinals in that.
That would be
sumbitch.
tier 2, I would think, for Joe. That one.
It's still public.
Yeah.
I'd still rather go on a plane. I find the idea that you wouldn't like to go on a plane interesting because it's the public. Like I do think that like we're animals going in front of each other like that. Like just because there's a door, like a piece of wood sort of covering us up, it's still weird that we're doing it all in the same room. I'm not comfortable with that. What's the difference between that and going behind a tree? Let's investigate this. If it's illegal to go in, like say you went in the woods, say you're at a softball game, your company softball game, and it's at a community softball field, and there's no porta potties, and you find yourself having to go to the bathroom. I imagine this scenario has happened to every one of you, especially every one of you that's involved in softball or something of that situation. So you go to relieve yourself in the woods. You go as deep in the woods as you can go, as much underbrush and everything as you can get. You go behind a tree and you urinate. Now, technically, isn't that illegal? However,
you're not supposed to. Yeah.
However, I can go into a bathroom or a locker room and put my hands behind my head and urinate or go number 2 in front of everyone. And all there is at a urinal, maybe nothing. There were troughs at Tiger Stadium. I'm sure there were at Fenway, too.
Yep, very
Troughs.
famously.
Women would go pee in the men's bathroom in the troughs.
And before you make the argument, well, one's in public, it's a public bathroom.
Oh, it's the idea is there's more privacy behind a tree than if you're trying, right? If you're trying to create like privacy, there's just as much, if not more, behind that tree than there is in a public restroom at a stadium, like at Fenway with 100 stalls lined up next to each other. Isn't it weird where we draw the line? What's the difference between that and like going on the street, like up against a brick wall? I asked
which you can get arrested for.
Oh, well, yeah, kids are walking by. Well, kids can go in the bathroom at Fenway.
That's right.
We put these rules on each other, man, and so follow them every way.
Yeah.
If you're so free with your dumps, there's schools that don't have the.
Don't be bound by the man.
No,
Go
what I'm
where you
saying
want.
is, if it's a rule one place, it should be a rule other. In all in society, there should be logic to the rule. Go ahead.
Hardy, do you find it interesting? Wallach was surprised that you do not defecate while on an airplane. It's only fitting for a bird to be comfortable with releasing his bowels mid-flight.
Yeah, it's true.
Come on, Adam. Be quicker on the draw with that.
I saw Hardy reaching for his.
According to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway Sports Group has shifted its focus from possibly perching the Celtics.
Thank you, Hardy.
Elephant
Even if you
work.
play them over each other.
I just need to. Hardy and I need to get on the same page.
According to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway Sports Group has shifted its focus from possibly perching the Celtics.
I think you're overthinking playing that. It's like Adam's like, if you played it both at the same time, no one would get it.
According to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway Sports Group has shifted its focus from possibly perching the Celtics.
It's starting to bother John. And it might be annoying the audience, which is really going to make me lean into it.
According to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway Sports Group has shifted its focus from possibly perching the Celtics.
Because a mental defect of mine is when I know something's annoying someone to continue doing it, which is a problem. And probably not the world's best job. All right, go ahead, John. You had your hand up. You got another one?
I had a Them Thrones segment one from Peter. I had a friend that drove a trash truck and had to use the bathroom. He went into the back of the trash truck and then locked himself in by accident. He had to call management to come let him out, and the remains of his business.
Yeah, what we've learned, well, I'll tell you a couple things, is that if you're going into broadcasting, I can assure you that there is going to be something somewhere said about you. Can you believe how stupid the morning show at 98.5thesportshub.com or 98.5 The Sports Hub is, how just childish it is. They did a whole hour on this, that, and going in the bathroom. And what I can tell you is this dumb thing has gotten more listener response than anything I've done.
I can't get through all the emails.
In 15 years.
Seriously. I mean, nothing.
And that doesn't mean it's good.
We had full phone lines.
And we had full phone lines, which never happens.
And by the way, our fighting men and women of this country weighed in as much as anybody with tales from the military. I have another email here about having to go in a Filipino jungle where it's 110 and 90% humidity.
Well, it's,
and
it's like a built-in bidet.
What was it called? A wag bag. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
That's what they called it.
So there's a lot of reason to continue the conversation, which we will for 4 hours on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, you'll do it. You'll hit it in the pregame when you do it before the Patriots game.
I probably will bring it up just to see if I can get Perillo uncomfortable from the jump.
Perillo's got a strapping young lad. I'm somehow friends with him on Facebook. He's got a kid playing high school football.
One of his sons posted a video over the summer. They were out on a fishing boat, and people were like, "Oh, here's my shark video of a shark coming up," and you see like a fin, big deal. This was a Jaws-like great white that swam up close to their boat, and Paul sent me the video. I'm like, "Holy crap!" realistically, you know that your kid probably was in danger, but it gave me anxiety looking at that video of that his kid took of this shark and the size of this thing that swam up near their boat.
Yeah, that's the difference between you and me. That shark wouldn't be in the water anymore if it was me. I'd get my hands in it. Get out of there. You're no good.
So you would get the video from your son, then you go back out in the water and then find the shark?
Or I'd punish my son for not taking matters into his own hands.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, toughen that kid up. You know? But in all seriousness, much respect to construction in this order. Third, construction workers. Second, landscapers. Number one, military, for what you have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we were complaining about, like, the gas station, and you guys are really getting into it.
In case you missed it, a guy ran into tank fire. We found out earlier today. A guy ran into tank fire to find a receptacle for him to do his business in.
Yeah, so valued are, like, receptacles that aren't even built for that.
Yeah.
One will actively run into cannon fodder.
Have to sit sit on top of those boxes a certain way so you don't get splinters in your butt.
Yeah, you got to like lay out the thing
Hey.
that you sleep on in some way. I mean, it was actually interesting,
informational.
I would go so far as that it was very immature in certainly scatological in a way, but also oddly
popular.
No, that's not oddly popular. That's entertainment. Oddly informative, and also it gave me a lot of more like additional respect to professions that I didn't realize were under these conditions. I didn't really think about it. All right, we'll be right back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots are missing.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. The stack is brought to you by D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches. Sink your teeth into steak royalty. D'Angelo's legendary number 9 grilled sandwich, tender, juicy sirloin, onions, peppers, and mushrooms, grilled to perfection. Get yours today. All right, Hardy, what do you have for us?
Well, it's Friday, so it's time for us to go through the things you can do this weekend, which may or may not appeal to Adam 12 based on the primary factor of cost.
You got any apple picking on there? I just bit into a nice Empire from Carver Hill Orchard there.
I did receive an email earlier in the week wanting to know if you are somehow down or out, as Jim Murray would say, on apple picking in general because it's become so commercialized.
No, not at all. This is actually a great year for it. Every orchard is still picking here in mid-October, which is not usually the case. Last year, bad for the apple orchards with bad spring weather. This year, great. So get out there and pick some apples this weekend. Check ahead of time to see what varieties your local orchard has.
What about the extras with the pumpkin cannons?
No, I have no interest in that. That's why I like Carver Hill over in Stowe because you go there.
It's just apple picking.
None of this hayride nonsense. But if that's if you want to do that, I know Nicholas was doing that a couple weekends ago. He's got a little one. It's good to have a orchard that's got stuff for the kids if that's what you're looking for. But if you're just looking to pick straight apples, that's my deal.
Yeah, you don't like the bells and whistles.
No.
All right.
I
Well,
get out there in the orchard and I want to get that fruit.
How about this? Falloween. City of Boston celebrating Halloween and fall at the same time with its Falloween Bash. This is today on the Boston Common. It's a family-friendly event with a haunted zombie maze, a jumping pumpkin, a scarecrow slide, and a number of all other all-ages activities, live music, spooky story time with the Boston Public Library, or hop on for a ride on the trackless train. Is this something Adam 12 will do?
Yes. Yeah, it's free, definitely, and it's a place to people watch.
It is free.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes.
Sounds free. It's for me.
Now, this one, there is a cost involved, so we're going to have to guess on the ticket price because I think this is something Adam 12 would do. Drive-by truckers at House of Blues. Been together since 1996, straight out of Athens, Southern rock, a little more alt country. They are playing tonight at the House of Blues. This is based on ticket price. Will Adam 12 attend?
Absolutely not. If you're a band that was formed of any genre in the 90s, that means your audience is in their 40s, 50s. That means that they have income, and that means tickets at least $75.
Wallach?
No, he's not going.
12.
Yeah, I'm not going to that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about the genre stuff, Hardy. Like all country, you and I have a lot of overlap on. I have no love for Southern rock at all.
Tickets are only $35.
Same way, 35. Thanks.
You're not.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Unleash your Halloween spirit at Halloween. Tomorrow, dogs
it's
of all
Ginsburg yelling.
Dogs of all sizes will don their Halloween best.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just did a very smart reference.
The Ginsburg reference.
Howl. Did you even get it? Stupid.
Dogs of all sizes will don their Halloween best and take part in Halloween at Peters Park in the South End. Will Adam 12 attend, Wallach?
Does he have a dog? I don't know if he has a dog.
He doesn't even listen to the show. Wallach doesn't even listen to his own show. Adam 12 hates dogs, so no, he's not going.
Well, hate's a strong word. I didn't say that earlier this week. I just said I'm not a dog guy. I'm a cat guy.
That's right. No, he's not going. So
correct. He's not going because he doesn't like dogs.
He leaves them outside.
Well, that's not true.
Do you want to lean into your Allen Ginsberg reference anymore?
I just wanted to make sure everyone caught it. It was very literary.
I caught it. I liked it.
Thanks, Adam. You were the only one who got it. Wallach still doesn't know.
I'm more of a Ferlinghetti guy than a Ginsberg guy,
Shut
but
up.
I appreciated the reference.
Why don't you shut up? Why don't you push it a little further?
According to the Sports Business Journal, the Fenway
There you
Sports
go.
shifted its focus from possibly purchasing
When in doubt, make fun of Wallach.
That's right. Take the heat right off you that way. Nice job.
Exactly it.
I'm figuring things
It's
out.
like the middle child. Just put it on that. I can say because I only have 2.
I was going to say, and you being an only child, like, what would you know about it?
That's what makes me special. They decided not to have any more kids after I came out.
We were discussing a couple of nights ago things for the guys to be doing it in London, the Patriots players, as they actually have like a day off today.
Yeah.
So what types of social media images will we be seeing from various Patriots players as the day goes on and they get out on the town in
Well,
London?
I don't know if you saw this, but I would like the three of you to guess. Steve Burton is out there already. What did he put on for a fun picture?
Oh, one of the Buckingham Guards hats.
Congratulations, John Wallach.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah,
And
correct,
I mean, it was funny. It's like, why do you didn't do it? Like, why do it? It's not funny. It's so obvious and dumb. By the way, like London's, forget it.
No, go ahead.
What's the difference between London and New York other than they drive on the other side of the road and the buildings are older? Like, it's not like Abu Dhabi was interesting. That's a part of the world no one goes to. Like London's a Western. It's the same. It's like the same. I love London because it's the same. The money's different. But I mean, do you ever go like, oh, the culture shock? I'm in London.
No, it's not culture shock. It's just so much nicer and cleaner and doesn't smell of urine everywhere.
Yeah, it's like a big, nice city.
Yeah.
Cheap, too. Very inexpensive. They still like music with instruments. It's like a whole thing.
Why don't you go? Why didn't you go this weekend?
I don't care for the Patriots.
Oh.
And if I go, baby, you know why I'm going. It's to see Premier League because I got to get out my scarves. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone enjoy your weekend. You can hear Hardy doing a non-sanctioned pregame.
Oh, it's sanctioned.
But it's not. It's
It is
not.
with full cooperation of 98.5 The Sports Hub. Don't you worry about that.
Okay, it seems like robbing Peter to pay Paul.
No, they love our partnership with the Patriots.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for us. John will be doing lots of pregame all over the place for everything. He's available for hire, as a matter of fact. He'll call your wedding. That'll do it for us. Everyone